Hey, it's Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualized, my asexual life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button down below right here, right now. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live right now or post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying the content, although tonight's going to be quite a traumatic episode. But there is going to be something good in it. Yeah, so don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as we go along if you like this video in any way. And if you don't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. I interviewed 46 asexuals across the globe and across the asexual spectrum for this book. I'm also the founder of asexualise.com and the founder of Asexualise Academy. Well, I have got a trigger warning on tonight's episode. I'm just settling you down a bit. I've got a trigger warning on tonight's episode because it's quite a traumatic episode for me to do. And so I wanted to put trigger warning out there because I'm talking about my past, which, yeah, I was getting over. I thought I got over in the main. But so tonight I was sorting through my wardrobe. Might notice a black sack behind me. I was sorting out one of my clothes wardrobes. I was taking clothes out of the corner wardrobe, and I thought, well, I may as well get rid of some. I may as well sell some, you know, if I'm not using them, if they don't fit me anymore, I may as well get rid of these clothes, right? Because there's no point in keeping clothes that, you know, don't fit anymore, that you're not using. May as well, like, you know, get some spare cash for them or whatever. And so I came across this. Now, you probably don't know what these are, but, you know, I was in a long-term relationship with a heterosexual guy for like 8.5 years of my life, right? And I sometimes talk about him on this channel because he's the last person I ever had sex with in 2011. And you know that he was abusive in every other way apart from sexually, right? But, which I'm thankful for, very thankful, grateful for, that he wasn't abusive in that way as well. But he bought me this outfit, and it was a Santa outfit, like. But the reason he bought me the outfit wasn't because I looked pretty in it, per se, which I did. It was so I could have sex with him in it. And I didn't realise that I had anything left of that outfit. I thought that I must have chucked it away. I don't know what I did with it because I don't remember it, because I try and block, well, just naturally block stuff out. But these are actually the gloves that went with the outfit. So these here go up the arms to the Santa outfit. So yeah, I was quite upset when I found them. And I found some stuff he bought me, which I didn't realise I still had. I keep finding things, even though it's a long time ago. I got some stuff that's actually limited edition, like Winnie the Pooh stuff, Eeyore stuff, but I think I'm going to sell it because I could do with the cash right now. And also, you know, it came from him, so I think I'm just going to get rid of it. And, you know, I found this. It's still got his writing on to me from him. Close of Kisses, 4-year anniversary. It hasn't even got nose. The nose is off. But it says, a special friend. There is no gift as precious as a true friend. It's a shame he wasn't, isn't it? And that's why this video is double traumatic, because, you know, I have to let you know that he was, I told you before, he's abusive in every other way, right? Verbally, emotionally, mentally. And I will not ever, ever, ever be with a guy like him ever again. If I have a whiff of any guy being abusive to me, they're out the door. I don't give a toss how much I like them. They're out the door, right? So, yeah, I just want to show you that, because look how these abusers work, right? They say they're your friend, right? They make you feel really special and great about yourself. And actually, they treat you like shite. So if you think if you're watching this now and you think that your partner might be abusive, but sometimes he's really nice to you, but sometimes he isn't, just let this be proof that this is how they behave. They behave really nicely to you, really loving 1 minute, and then they be really nasty to the next with their fists up. Well, I've been happily single now for what? Since 2011. That's like, I'm 2019 now, for over 7 years, 7.5 years. I'm quite happy to spend the rest of my life single than be with an abuser ever again. Do you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? I just wanted to show you that. He has the same surname as me, by the way, because he changed it to my name. Partly because if we ever got married, then I wouldn't need to change my name because I don't ever want to change my name. But really, because he used to be into crime and he wanted to cover up what he was doing, so he changed his name. That's why he changed it, really. But of course, he made out the lovey-dovey story side of it more. But yeah, happy 4-year anniversary. So I even forgot I had this. Forgot I had all that stuff, you know? And it's like, that's what they do sometimes. They're mind manipulators. They make out they're your friend. They really like you. Yet they're just disgustingly mind manipulating beeps, you know? So if you've got a person who you're not sure if they'll be abusive because 1 minute they're being really nice, but the next minute they're blaming you for things, then they're doing this stuff to you. You know what I think of that, don't you? You know? You should go in the bloody bin, excuse my language. So, tonight, this, like I said, is part of the outfit. And he bought me the Santa outfit, so I'd wear it to have sex with him, right? I did consent to having sex with him. I did do that with him, but I felt like a doll dressed up. Like, I hate stuff like this, right? I know the world will probably disagree with me, but I cannot stand sex stuff that involves dressing up, right? Maybe someone could get away with an Iron Man costume because I just love superhero outfits or something stupid like that. But I wouldn't want to have sex with them. But you know what I mean? But I hate this. I hate people who do this. And I know there's loads of people who are asexual, watch this channel, they still like roleplay and they still like this stuff, right? I have to say this is my video tonight. I've told you it's traumatic. So if you don't want to watch this and don't want to hear what I've got to say, you don't have to. But I absolutely hate roleplay. I hate stuff like that. I hate dressing up. I hate it when people cannot, you know, like, I don't want sex ever again in my life, but if I did, I wouldn't want to dress up for it, right? If the person doesn't love you for who you are and you're full, I don't like nudity, right? I can't stand it. But if they don't like you in your full naked capacity as you are, then quite frankly, I want to tell them to get out the door and clear out of my life. Because at the end of the day, if they don't love you for who you truly are, your body, your hair colour, just as you are, then they can take a flaming hike, right? So I do not like roleplay. I do not like dressing up. To be quite honest, I find it quite sick. I find it sick that people make people or ask people to dress up to have sex with them, for personal sexual gratification. It's like, if you're not attracted to the person in the first place, then don't bloody bother. Excuse my language. This is going to be a really traumatic video tonight because I'm really peed off that I found these. I'm really upset because I remember how it made me feel, right? I thought the outfit was really pretty. I looked really gorgeous in it as a pretty girl Santa, but that was it. I would just like to have gone out in the outfit or you know, well, of course he wanted me to stay indoors with it. It was quite short, but I would just rather have had the outfit just as a fun thing for Christmas, not so that he could purposely use it for sex because it turned him on, me looking cute in a Santa outfit. You know, of course I look cute in a Santa outfit, but do you know what I mean? He did it on purpose so he would have sex in it. It's just horrible and I hate it. And tonight I thought, good, I've got scissors and I can cut this thing up because this is how I feel and I absolutely hate it. And I thought, good, I'll get the scissors out and it can be quite cathartic on my live stream because I hate people who do this to people, you know? Society never talks about the other side of sex, do they? They never talk about the side which is disgusting, which makes people feel shite about themselves. They never talk about this, do they? They always talk about the glorification of sex. They always talk about how wonderful sex is. They always talk about how it's healthy, loving, happy. Do you know how many people were raped in this world? Do you know how many people are raped? You know, I like Indian guys, right, as you know. but I have to say that there are a lot of women in India that are raped, and sometimes it's by their relatives. And I don't know if you've seen those posts on Facebook, but I have. Like, a child is being raped by her uncle or something. It is absolutely disgusting. You know, it's absolutely sick and disgusting. And that is what I think of a guy asking me to dress up to have sex with him. You know, so if you're into role play and you like dressing up, you won't want to watch this video because I hate it and I think it's sick, right? I think it's absolutely sick that people can't love people as they are. And it's like, no, you have to dress up for me in some seedy little outfit. Well, actually, the outfit wouldn't be seedy if what was going on with the outfit wasn't like sex. If it's just like the fact that the person looked nice in it. But no, that's no good, is it? So yeah, I thought tonight I'm going to have a nice live stream because this is really upsetting me, and it remind me how I felt, and I know how I did that. I was in a chair with him when I did it, and it makes me feel sick. And I hate sex, in case you didn't know. I've always hated sex. I've always hated nudity. Do you know I hate people who read the Sun newspaper, who look at the page 3 women? Do you know how much I hate that? It's sick. It's absolutely sick. Women's private parts are called private for a reason. They're not called private because they're supposed to be on display for every guy to gawk at. Sick people. I just think it's sick. Yes, I'm a sex repulsed asexual, and I'm bloody proud of it. I hate all this stuff. This is not love. This is just crap. That's what it is. Crap. And I hate it. And I'm swearing on this channel tonight because I thought I want to do this with my asexual friends. And I know there'll be some people who'll be like watching this and they'll be thinking, oh good, roleplay. I love roleplay. Let's get it on, baby. And I'll be thinking, stick that up your ass, because I'm not interested in roleplay. I absolutely hate it. And I think it's disgusting. I think if you can't love a person for who they are, then blooming turn away and head out my life and go, because I am not interested. And yes, I absolutely hate guys that read the Sun newspaper. Like, do not bring that near me. It's sick. You know, you can't even have a decent newspaper. There's plenty of intelligent newspapers out there. You don't need to go and buy the Sun. If something, you know, if you walk past the Sun newspaper, no, you don't need to pick it up. No, you don't need to say, oh, I had to look at it. No, people have a choice to look at things in life. A choice, people. Some people, though, who have boyfriends and girlfriends who make them wear stuff like this, you know, I have to say, like I said, it was consensual. I did consent to it, but I felt like a doll. You know, I felt like one of those Barbie dolls that gets dressed up for Ken or whatever they do. You know, it's disgusting and I hate it. And I've always hated page 3 stuff. I've always hated nudity. I think it's sick that there is page 3 in existence, right? I hate looking at men's bodies, but I tell you blimmin' what, I'd love it if there was a Sun newspaper that had page 4 with men's dicks hanging out. And do you know why I'd love that? Because how many men would start to feel insecure that their partner was also looking at men? They wouldn't like it, would they? Let's have a dick for breakfast, shall we? Let's watch the Sun newspaper and let's see this guy with his dick hanging out. Oh yes, let's have it on the table. Oh, it's on the floor. Oh, it's in the train. And I just couldn't help but notice it. Do you know what I mean? I think let's at least have some equality about this in the world. If you're going to have women's boobs and vaginas on show, then you may as well have loads of guys' penises on show, might you, as well? Even though I don't want it, I don't like it, I think that'd be a damn sight better. You know, if you're having the Sun for women, have the Sun for men as well. Put all their penises hanging out and you watch how many men start hating the Sun newspaper. But no, it's all about women flashing their boobs for the guys. You know, and it's fine for guys to look at that when they've got a beautiful partner sat by their side. And it's like, oh, I was just looking. It's like, well, there's other things to look at, isn't there? Like, let's see, what else can you look at? Oh, you can actually switch off the TV. You can actually not buy a newspaper. You can actually read an intelligent book on how to manage your finances. You can read an intelligent book on productivity. You can read a book on spirituality. You can actually learn how to develop and grow yourself into a better human being than reading crap like that. Excuse me, this is a really traumatic video, I did tell you, because I'm not in the mood and you don't usually hear me like this. But to be quite honest, it's about time that I told you the truth, that I really am personally sex repulsed, naked repulsed, and I hate all that rubbish. And I hate guys that go around making women or asking women to dress up. You know? Ann Summers, right? I did actually go for a job there. I told you years ago. And I think this is where he probably got the outfit from. Oh, look. Yes. What I say? Look, it even says Ann Summers on there. Ann Summers. See? So he did get it from Ann Summers. I couldn't even remember. But, yeah, but, you know, I wasn't with him when he got it. I would have told him not to get it. And he got me, what else did he get me? He got this game, this sex game, board game, but I didn't play it. I sent it, after we split up, I sent it to the charity shop. You know? I thought, poor person at the charity shop's got to see that. Wonderful. So, yeah. I don't appreciate people telling people to dress up, you know? I don't appreciate it when people go, oh, well, I had to look because it was there in front of me. It's like, no, you don't have to look if it's in front of you. You have a choice in life. You can look at the wallpaper. You can look at the ceiling. You can look at the floor. You can walk the other way. You can switch the TV off. You can fast forward the television. Tell you what, I'm not watching any films with nudity in them. When my ex was over, right, we used to watch these films and some of them had naked scenes and I would fast forward it and he would moan. And he's like, oh, but it spoils the storyline. Spoils the storyline? That's more important than my opinion and my feelings, is it? Spoils the storyline. I couldn't give a toss whether it spoils the storyline. Life is about living and enjoying, not watching grotesque sex and sex scenes. There's no need for it. There's plenty of films out there. And if you're, you know, who cares about the storyline? Life's more important. Do you know what I mean? I'm so glad I don't watch TV. It's a waste of time. Murder, rape, violence, sex, drugs. You know, I learned to give that up. Like, I started my entrepreneur journey, as you know, in 2012, right? And I learned back then that people just watch TV. It's just wasting their life. You know? You're better off to, like, watch some personal professional development videos and actually change your life, become a better person, you know? Develop yourself, grow yourself, and grow your brain cells, not just sit watching mindless hours of TV, you know? We all know what TV is predominantly made up of: breasts, don't we? Breasts this, breasts that. It's like, am I attracted to women? No, I'm a woman. Am I ever going to be attracted to women? No. So why do I want to see breasts all over the place? Clearly, the majority of programs are made for men to watch breasts, aren't they? Which is totally unequal, totally bad. Where's the equality in that? There isn't any. Which does that mean that most of the people that watch TV are men, and most of the people that watch TV are films are men? I don't think so somehow. But I tend to watch more male films and more male films that don't tend to have as much sex, and like the superhero movies. You know, I like superhero movies, as you know. I like sweet, innocent Disney Pixar movies, as you know. I like the least amount of sex I can do in my life, or have, or look at, or see in my life. I can't stand it. It's disgusting, you know? But they don't talk about that, don't they? They just glorify sex. All the time, people glorify sex. And so it's so good. What about all the stuff that isn't? What about all those women that do actually do stuff in front of cameras that don't want to? Where they have their, what is it, their pimp telling them what to do, like go in front of the camera, like, look how much money we're making. You know, it's just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I don't want to ever be in this position ever again. I can't stand sex. It makes me want to throw up. I can't stand breasts. They make me want to throw up. You know, I like a sex-free life. Thank God I've got my asexual meetup soon, you know. Thank God I've seen my best friends, you know. One of my bestest friends, he, the one I'm seeing for 4 days, he's down from Hertfordshire, bless his heart. He is nudity repulsed like me. He's the only asexual I've met in my life that's actually genuinely nudity repulsed like I am. He's more nudity repulsed than I am, I would say. You know, because he was in a relationship for 3 years with a girlfriend and they never saw each other naked. I've not actually been in a relationship where I haven't been naked, because in the past I was. That was a long time ago. Do you know what I mean? But I believe I'm quite old-fashioned. Like, if I was to see, I mean, I don't want to be naked anyway in front of anyone. But I think if you are in a relationship, you should only have eyes for the person you're with. Do you know what I mean? Like, see their naked body if you're gonna see anyone's, not everyone else's bits, because I don't think that's good. I think that's quite sick, to be honest with you. It's like, well, you've got a lovely partner. Why the hell do you need to look at other people for? Why? What's the point? Do you know what I mean? If you don't like your partner's body, why be with them in the first place? Just don't bother. Be with someone else or be single forever. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I personally don't like people who do this, right? I'll tell you the story as well. I was in the newspaper a few years ago, the Daily Mirror, and it was about being an asexual cougar and the fact that I like younger guys, right? And yeah, and the journalist, of course, she put her own slant on it, and it said about it made it sound like I date younger guys in my city all the time, and I was thinking I haven't even had a date for like about 3 years, but thanks for that. And anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, it was about, oh my god, I can't even remember what I'm saying because I'm so upset with all this stuff. But I was basically saying, what was I saying? I don't know, I'll just cut some more of this up at the moment. I was saying that I hate sex. I was saying that my friend is nudity repulsed like me, which is really, really good. And he understands me. He's the only one in the world that understands me like that. And I'm really grateful to him. It's really, really amazing, that my friend understands me. And he'll be down for 4 days and we can have a chat and we can say that nudity is disgusting. He's not into looking at breasts either. He hates all that type of stuff. It's so nice. Because before I met him, I had no one to relate to like that. Like, there was a few guys, like I think 2 I met online that said that, but they proved otherwise, that they're talking rubbish. They were just saying it for what I wanted to hear, they thought. So, anyway, I know what I was going to say now. So in this newspaper article, after this article, on asexuality.com, which is an asexual dating website that I've been on for years, there was this guy that came on, and he'd seen me in the newspaper, but he was in his early 50s. I'm, not even in that decade, obviously. I'm much younger than that. I think he was 51 at the time or something. This was a couple of years ago. And it's like, one, I'm not interested in a guy that age, as you know. And 2, he started talking to me about dressing up. Like, Happy Days, the film Happy Days, where they wear, like Fonzie. I don't know if you're old enough to know about that, but if you Google Happy Days Fonzie, there was basically they used to have like cheerleader type girls in there, and he was on about role play with me because he fancied me like that, and I'm like, ugh, it just made me want to throw up. One, because he's so much older than me, and I'm not into older guys. I know a lot of women are, but I'm not into older guys. I always prefer younger guys. And 2 is, I hate it. To me, it's seedy and it's disgusting. I hate this dressing up for sex stuff. It's disgusting. If I was ever having sex, it would just be my own body. And if the guy didn't like me for who I was, well, don't be with me then. But I don't want sex again anyway. I don't like it. You know what I mean? I only did it because I was with the person, didn't realise I could get an asexual guy. And now I know I'm asexual. I don't have to be in that position anymore because there's plenty of asexual guys out there, who can be with me without sex. So I haven't found the right one yet, but not asexual guy. I do like the British guy, but he's not asexual, sadly. But he's really sweet, I have to say. Really sweet person. But obviously, with him not being asexual, it is a bit difficult for me. Do you know what I mean? But he is really sweet. But it is quite hard, because I hate sex. I loathe it. I can't stand it. Not that he's asked me to do that or talked about. He's been really good, actually. He's talking to me about Disney stuff, and I have to say that he's been very good at helping me feel calmer about that, because he's been talking about stuff that I usually talk about with my asexual friends. Like, he's been talking to me about Disney films and Disney music, and when he said he was watching TV, it was to do with the car program. And yeah, and he's been sending me lots of love hearts and stuff and been really romantic. So none of it was sexual, which was great. It was all kind of like an asexual person would send to me. So that was nice. But obviously he's not asexual, sadly. Wish he was. But you can't help what you are, can you? Who you are. But yeah, but that's nice. I thought it was really sweet of him, actually, to make me try and make me feel comfortable. Because as you can tell, it's really traumatic for me, all this ex stuff. And I don't want to be with a sexual person ever again, you know? Well, I like him, but it's kind of hard because I never wanted to be with this heterosexual person in my life ever again. Do you know what I mean? I find it all traumatic for me. Because it's like, well, I don't want sex. I hate sex. I don't like guys looking at naked women. I don't like, all that type of thing. It just pisses me off, to be quite honest. I just think it's sad. But even some asexual guys, they do that, some of them. It's like, I don't want to know those type of guys. Oh, yeah, there was an Indian guy that contacted me the other day, and he's like, hi. I'm like, hi. He goes, I saw your post. I'm like, what post? He goes in the group. I'm like, yeah, what post? I post in loads of groups. And he's going, oh, about wanting an Indian asexual guy. I'm like, and he's like, oh, I don't like sex, but I do like role play. Well, you can imagine I wasn't particularly happy about that. I mean, I just met the British guy then anyway, so when he messaged me, so like, I was thinking he's not really my type, this Indian guy anyway. He's not really the look I like anyway. But when he started talking about role play, I'm like, not into that. He goes, oh, and I want a dom. So you know what dom means? It means dominatrix, like BDSM type stuff. Because some asexuals, they do BDSM stuff, but without the actual sex. And it's like I said to him, I said, well, I'm not submissive. I'm more dominant and submissive, but I'm not interested in that type of stuff. I'm not interested in BDSM. I don't participate in that. I don't have anything to do with it. And I'm not into role play. I'm like a pretty princess, but in and of my own right, Disney girl. Because I knew that put him off me, because he's not going to want to be with a Disney pretty princess type girl, because he wants a dominatrix, which is the opposite, really. Do you know what I mean? Have a nice day here. Oh, I don't know who wrote that, but thanks. But yeah, so yeah, like, anyway, I'm interested in the British guy at the moment. Do you know what I mean? I'm not really going around. He saw a post he saw was one I put. I didn't even remember I put it. I think I put it like a week or two ago. Because every so often I post in the asexual Indian groups. But they all want marriage usually, and I usually have to post without marriage because that's what they're all after, visas anyway. That's the one benefit of being with a British guy, isn't it? Don't have to worry about a foreign guy lying just to get a visa. Do you know what I mean? Marriage. I really love you. Yeah, because I want a visa. Do you know what I mean? It's another thing I don't like. But yeah, so I think it's, people don't see it. People think that dressing up to have sex is fun. Well, it ain't fun for me. I think it's disgusting. I think it's very seedy. I find it very seedy, like I find a lot of stuff seedy, like I've been with foreign guys in the past as boyfriends. And I told you I had one of them and he didn't want to hold my hand in public. He didn't want to have sex with me in private. To me, that is really seedy and disgusting. That's why it actually did something really bad to me, which I don't think I've told you on this channel. Something very bad to me. But I was, because he wouldn't hold my hand in public, that I actually split up with him, even though what he did to me was very bad. So yeah, because I can't stand being hidden. I can't stand a person who wants to kiss me in private, but in public he don't want to know. Acts like we're just mates. Can't stand that. The British guy isn't like that, thank God. He put a picture of me and him on his profile last night, which I thought was really nice. Just getting here. Are you asexual? Yes, I'm 100% asexual. I don't experience any sexual attraction whatsoever. So asexual means absence of sexual attraction. So meaning I don't have the need, urge, or want for partner sexual intercourse ever, no matter how much I love the person and attracted to them in multiple other ways. So if I'm asexually attracted to someone, romantically attracted to them. Oh, right. You do know I can moderate your conversation, right? Because you're asking me now if I have sex. No, I don't have sex. I haven't had sex since 2011. Not that it's really any of your business, but yeah, that's what you're asking me. But you won't, if you keep writing sex stuff on there, you won't be seeing it because I'll just delete it because I can moderate my own comments from. That's the benefit of doing a live stream on my desktop, because I can moderate the comments as people go along, which I couldn't do from my mobile. So no, I don't have sex. I don't wish to have sex ever again. Last time I had sex was in 2011. So I've been sex free now for over 7 years. And I tell you, I'm much happier since I've had a sex free life than I was when I was having sex. Because I'm not interested in sex. It's disgusting. And trying to do stuff that you don't really want to do just to please your partner is a bit, or, you know, just to like, when you could be doing a million other things. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't want it. So yeah, I'm really glad I don't have sex. There's a video on my channel that says I haven't had sex for 4 years. Feels fantastic. Benefits of not having sex, but I haven't had it now for over 7 years. Like, we're in 2019 now. The last time I had it was October 2011. And I have to say, a sex-free life is so much better. Like, I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. I don't have to worry about getting pregnant for a start. God, that's one of the worst things ever. I used to buy pregnancy testing kits because I was paranoid I might get pregnant, even though I was using protection. Always use protection, people. If you're asexual out there who is having sex, because some of you do, always use protection, because some asexuals, because they're not used to having sex, they're not using protection and they're getting pregnant, you know, and people can have sexually transmitted diseases, right? So even if you've not had sex and you're a virgin asexual wanting to try sex, you're trying it with someone who's probably much more experienced than you. And Hicks. I don't know what Hicks means. What's the difference between an asexual partner and a best friend? The difference between an asexual partner and a best friend. Well, for a start, any person who's your partner should be your best friend anyway. If you're not in a relationship with your best friend, then you're really not in a happy, healthy relationship anyway. Because whether you're heterosexual or you're asexual, you should always be having your best friend as your partner, right? My mum and dad, for example, they've been married for 50 years next month in May. They're not asexual, but they're best friends and soulmates, right? Even though they're heterosexual, they're best friends and soulmates. So if you've got a relationship with someone and they're not your best friend, then really you shouldn't be with them, because you should only be having a very deep, meaningful, best friend, soulmate type relationship to get the most healthiest, loving, long-lasting relationship possible. The difference for me between an asexual partner and a best friend is that I kiss my partner, I cuddle my partner if I had one, which I kind of like, got someone that I really like at the moment, the British guy, you know, we're kind of like partners, even though we're not officially yet, because I don't know him well enough, that's why, but kind of like I'm getting to know him really well. He's a nice person. What kind of asexual toilet are you using? Well, that's just being disgusting, isn't it? So I'm going to remove you. And yeah, right, okay, you're going to go in timeout now, because I'm not having people speaking to me like that. So yeah, so don't be disgusting, right? An asexual lacks sexual attraction, so I don't look at someone and think I want sex with them ever. So we're going to write disgusting stuff like that about going to the toilet. How do you think I go to the toilet like everyone else? It's disgusting. You know, I'll just ban you from the channel if you carry on. So I think that's a genuine question. What's the difference between an asexual partner and a best friend? Because some people don't understand. The difference to me is my best friend I don't kiss, my best friend I don't cuddle. Do you know what I mean? So for example, I'm seeing my best asexual friends next week. 2 guys, right? I'll hug them like hello and goodbye, but that's it. Like, I don't hold their hand. I won't kiss them on the lips. I don't even kiss them on the face. Do you know what I mean? There's no kisses involved. The body doesn't get as close to them. So obviously, if I'm dancing with one of my friends I'm going dancing with, I don't dance close with my best friend. But it's really good, because this is an important question, because it's all about boundaries, right? So when I'm with my friend dancing, I'm not dirty dancing with my friend, right? I'm not putting my groin in his way, in his area. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if I was with a partner, then obviously I can dance close, like, even though I'm asexual, if our genitals touch with clothes on them, I'm okay about that, you know, and if holding them. But if you're dancing with a friend, you shouldn't be doing that sort of stuff, right? There's no need to do that sort of stuff, because they're your friend, right? And quite frankly, you should be uncomfortable doing that with your friend, because if you're not uncomfortable doing that with your friend, then there's something a bit wrong with you. You know, it's like, well, you don't understand boundaries, and you just think everyone's like should be in your space like that, and they shouldn't. So you shouldn't be doing that with just friends. So for example, hi, the stop. So for example, you know, like, so when I go out coming with my friend next week, me and him will be dancing together, but there'll be space in between our bodies. You know, we won't be kissing, we won't be cuddling, we won't be holding hands. And he'll be dancing in front of me, I'll be dancing in front of him, but we won't be attracted to each other. Well, sometimes I do have attraction for my friends, I've told you on this channel, like, because I'm hyper romantic, but like, not attraction like that. Like, do you know what I mean? If there's attraction, it's like I can't help the attraction. I'm not actually attracted to them to want to do anything with them. Like, but you know, like, I'm not attracted to them like that. Like, I'm not wanting them to be my partner. Do you know what I mean? I'm not usually attracted to British guys. Actually, he's British. Not usually enough to want to kiss them. Anyway, so but there's one guy who's watching this channel now who I am attracted to. But you know, so yeah, so it should be very different. So when you go out dancing with your friends, there should be a lot of space between you and your bodies. There should be like, like if you're doing sexy dancing, you shouldn't really be aiming it at them, like just aim it into outer space, because you know you don't want to give them the wrong impression if they're just your friend. You know, you kind of, maybe you need to tell your friend, well, I do this sexy dancing, it's got nothing to do with you. But my friends know what I'm like anyway, because I've got such a good friendship relationship with them, that if I was like moving my hips and stuff, they would just pretty much ignore me and let me carry on with doing that. They wouldn't think it's anything to do. What outfit was it? Was it lingerie? I don't like dressing up for sex. That's the whole point of this video. So you're just being, I'm not interested in what you have to say anymore when you're just talking like that. You know, it's disgusting. The whole point of this video is I hate, people thinking people should dress up for sex. If you don't like the human body as it is, why are you even having sex in the damn first place? Do you know what I mean? It's disgusting. You know, so why are you wanting people to dress up for sex for you? Do you know what I mean? It's quite sick, quite frankly. And if you come on this channel thinking I'm going to be saying sex is great, no, actually I'm asexual. I lack sexual attraction. I'm sex repulsed, and I think sex is shite. Not because it not because some people don't get pleasure out of it, but because I think the whole concept of sex is disgusting. Using people's bodies, especially women's, as sexual objects, you know, objectifying them in the newspaper, in TV, in films. You know, a person's body is their own body. Doesn't give a guy or anyone else a right to go and use that body and have sex with it. Do you see what I mean? I can understand it for procreation if people want to do that, but that's about it. You know, two people's bodies are not love. People's naked bodies is not love. That's just naked bodies, you know? And if you're not, but why are you saying it's disgusting? You see it as compliment when others enjoy you. No, I don't. I don't see it as a compliment at all. If others enjoy me, then they should enjoy me for my naked body, not for wanting to dress me up in disgusting outfits. And I don't like sex anyway. They can enjoy my company, because I hate sex and I hate people dressing up like it. It's disgusting. If you like the body, you should like the human body as it is, not because you want to put something on it to make it change, right? You should love a person for who they are, not because you want to change them. You know, that's just disgusting, you know? And I gather you're a heterosexual talking to me now, so you're not going to think like I do. But, you know, it's disgusting. You know, if you love a person, it should be about the spirit, about the heart, and about the mind. But why don't you? Oh, you're just being sick now, right? I'm not interested. Just getting rid of everything you talked about. It's absolutely disgusting. I'm not having you on this channel. If anyone else decides to say something disgusting, I'll just delete you as well. You know, I don't mind sensible questions and helping you guys out to understand asexuality. But when you're just on about discussing stuff like threesomes and sex, you can get lost, right? Not interested in that. Just do one, right? It's disgusting. So yeah, so anyway, the only question I actually liked was that question about what is the difference between an asexual partner and best friend. That's the only question that was actually sensible. So if you've got any more sensible questions like that, then I don't mind answering them, because it is, you know, some people don't understand. Like, I won't go and kiss my best friends on the lips. I won't go and hold their hand. I won't go cuddling them. That's wrong. That's reserved for a partner. That's how people should be. I respect that, but you should be more open, in my opinion. Well, this is my channel, and I think other people shouldn't be so open. Not to be rude, just my opinion. Well, yeah, you've got the same opinion as pretty much the whole world, haven't you? Whereas I actually have a different opinion and I'm not afraid to say it, whereas most people are. You know, the whole world is full of people like you who love all that type of stuff. I don't. I hate it. I can't stand it. I think it's sick. Expecting people to dress up to have sex with you is disgusting. You know, if you love a person for who they are, you should be happy with their natural look if you're going to have sex with them. Do you know what I mean? The way their body is, the contours of their body. But you're probably not used to making love. You're probably just used to having sex and sticking it in. Because if you're used to making love, then you'll be following all the contours of their body, their neck, their arms, their legs, their, you know, you'd be feeling all over them and appreciating their beautiful body for what it is, the partner you're with, rather than oogling over loads of bodies in the world, and rather than getting them dressed up and putting an outfit on them when they've already got a beautiful body. If you don't think your partner's got a beautiful body, you'd rather look at other people than just be single and go and look at other people, right? Don't bother. Do you see what I'm saying? You know? If you love a person, you should love their body. You should be into them. I'll tell you what, if guys were as into their woman that they're with as they were their best guy friends and looking at other women and chatting other women up, they'd have a much more better, relationship. But no, you know, like I've had people who are married chatting me up on Facebook. You know, I'm like, you've got a wife? Stop talking to me. Go and be with your wife. I can agree, but the way you refer to the partner's body, wouldn't you consider that sexual as well, just in a different view? That does not seem asexual to me. I don't personally like sex, right? Personally, but some asexuals participate in sex. But there's a difference between sensual and sexual attraction. And also, if I was having sex, which I'm not, but if I was, I'd just be interested in the person's body, not other people's body, and not dressing it up, right? I actually prefer a guy with clothes on, right? I find a guy with clothes on much more attractive than guys with their clothes off, because I'm not interested in sex or the male genitalia, right? And asexuals are very varied. Like, my opinion's very different to other people's opinion, right? I'm telling you my opinion on this channel now because it's about time I spoke out for what I really believe in, you know? And if, you know, I've had sex just because I'm asexual doesn't mean to say I haven't had sex. And I know the difference between good sex and bad sex. The bad sex is that guys just want to stick it in a woman. The good sex is that guys want to do other stuff with a woman before they even stick it in, like all the foreplay and the kissing and the cuddling and all the touching. Only with me, because I'm asexual, I don't want I don't want that leading up to sex, because I'm not interested in sex. I just want the kissing and the cuddling. Got it? Right? You know? But if an asexual person is deciding they want to have sex with a sexual, because sexual behavior is not the same as sexual attraction, and they can choose that if they want to, then the person that they're with should be in tune with their body, should be touching their body in all different places to make them not feel pleasure if they like that type of thing, right? Rather than just sticking it in, which is why a lot of guys actually are crap in relationships and why a lot of guys fail in relationships. But people, they don't know that. They just think, oh, good, I want some sex, let me stick it in. A woman's never going to stay with a guy who just sticks his dick in her, to be very, very blunt about it. It's not going to happen. She's going to go off with someone else because she's going to get bored out of her brain with that. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe they like that occasionally, sexuals, but in the main, they like, you know, the caressing of the body. They like the touching, you know. And you can do all the type of caressing thing without even having sex, you know. You can do all the kissing on the neck, you know, the touching all over the body without doing sex, you know, depending on whether you like touching all over the body or not. You know, I personally prefer being clothed, quite frankly, and I only like being touched in certain places. But, you know, like, if you're going to full on do something, you can, like some asexuals, they'll touch all over the body, but they won't have the intercourse, right? Which, if I was going to do something, I'd rather do that, but I don't want to do that at all if I don't want to. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so you know, there's people don't even realize you can have a very orgasmic experience biologically without even having intercourse. And people don't even know that. What do you think about having children? Would it be different if it was literally just a production instead of pleasure, for example? I don't want kids. I've never ever wanted children in my life. I don't want to have sex to have kids. I hate all that. I haven't wanted kids since I was 15 years old. Right? Some asexuals do want children. Some asexuals do have sex just to have kids. So that question is valid, Calvin. But I know a person who's with his wife, and and he's just had sex for kids. That's it. They don't have sex anymore. They haven't had sex in years, and they're really happy together without sex. They don't even get undressed in front of each other anymore. They just had it to have children. That was it. So there are a few asexuals that will do that. That's up to them what they do, isn't it? You know? But personally, I would not do that because I don't want children. I've never, ever wanted children since I was 15 years old. Right? The doctor's like, oh, you'll change your mind when you're older. It's like, no, I won't, because I've known my own mind since a very small kid. I've always been very independent minded. I always know my own mind. I don't follow the crowd, as you probably noticed from this channel and what I'm talking about tonight. Whereas the whole world is sex mad, I actually am like, well, no, I hate all that type of stuff. It's disgusting. When people think role play's great, I think it's disgusting. I think if you love a person, you should love them for who they are. You shouldn't be looking around at other naked people. You should just be concentrating on your partner. Like I said, if people in relationships concentrated more on their partner and less on other people and looking around them at other things, they'd have a much better relationship, the one they've actually got. You know, so many people, like I said on Facebook, I got this guy a while ago who's like married, you know? Like, why are you even talking to me? Go to your wife and talk to her, you know? If he was saying the stuff to his wife, like he was saying to me, I'm sure that she'd be passionate more towards him because she'd be feeling like, God, he really fancies me. But no, instead he's chatting me up. I don't like guys that chat me up when they're in a relationship with someone else. Do you know what I mean? Especially if they're single, you know, like I'm single, it's a bit different. But if if they're in a relationship, it's like, no, you shouldn't be chatting me up. Go and talk to your partner. Spend time with your partner. If you can't do that, don't be married. Don't be in a relationship. Stay single. Play the field. But, you know, make sure you get people that equally want to do that. Don't get into a relationship with someone that doesn't like that, you know, that's not that way. Interesting take on the topic. Me personally, I think sex is very important in a relationship and a deal breaker, but I see why someone would not want to focus on that. Well, as I'm asexual and absolutely hate sex, then it's a deal breaker for me that I get someone who doesn't want sex ever. They can live without sex forever and be without sex forever, because I don't want that ever again. It's horrible for me, you know? If you don't experience sexual attraction, you actually don't like the sex or enjoy it. Not because it can't be enjoyable, because I've had good sex, because I just don't want it. I'm not interested in it. I've got much better things to do with time, and I don't think it's very orgasmic. Yeah, I can do all the liquidy, squirty stuff, the biological stuff I can do, but I don't get anything out of it. I much prefer kissing. Much kissing. So yeah, while for you, Calvin, because you're heterosexual, sex would be important to you and a deal breaker in a relationship. For me, it's a deal breaker that I don't have it. Like if a guy decides that he just like doesn't want it for a month, 2 months, 5 years, it's no good for me. I need a guy who doesn't want it forever, because I don't want that. It's just not good for me. And I'd rather a sexual person be with someone like them. They can get their sex then. And I'll quite happily walk away and be single forever. I'd rather be single forever than a guy get with me who's sexual and really need the sex, because that's not fair on him and not fair on me. You know, and I'll be like, that's fine. You can walk away. It's okay. You can go and be with the sexual person. It's not a problem, but just, you know, go and do it. You know, don't come in my life, tell me you want to be with me and not have sex, and then go and do that, because that'd just be rude. You've got your own you're an adult, you can make your own decisions, and if you need sex and it's a deal breaker to have it, then go and find someone like that that's compatible with you. But for me, I hate it. I don't ever want to do it again, you know. I hate the whole concept. I think there's a lot of seediness, you know. I think it's a shame that society brainwashes everyone from a very young age into believing that you can't have a loving, happy, healthy relationship without sex, when you can. There's asexuals that have no sex. I've got a friend and he's engaged to another asexual. They're both asexuals. They get married next year, you know. They don't have sex. They're romantic with each other. They cuddle each other. They kiss, but they don't have sex, and they're really happy together. And there's other people. I've got a friend who lives in my city. He's with an asexual girl. There's no sex. There's no talk of sex, and they have the most beautiful relationship. I can't believe how deep you think into this. You don't overthink that a lot compared to this person looks nice, want to be with them direct. I can't believe how deep you think into this. Don't you overthink that a lot compared to this person looks nice, want to be with them direct. I don't really understand your question, but of course it's deep, isn't it? I'm not in life to just have meaningless, like mediocre conversations here. I'm here for really in-depth subject matter. You know, at the end of the day, like you're probably not even into spirituality, are you? You probably don't believe in spirituality, you know? The body's just a vessel, you know? It's our hearts, our mind, and our spirit that's the most important thing. Do you know what I mean? But, you know, society brainwashes everyone. You know, everyone's brainwashed to have a 9 to 5 job. Well, news. You don't have to have a 9 to 5 job. There are other ways of making money, doing stuff. You know, you're brainwashed into thinking everyone's heterosexual. You know, everyone thinks that everyone's born heterosexual. Of course, not everyone's born heterosexual. No one pops out the womb and going, "Hey, I'm heterosexual." Doesn't happen. It's conditioning. And that's why some people who are gay struggle, because they're conditioned to believe that heterosexuality is the normal sexuality. I'm saying that you can have the most shallow relationship these days and be with someone solely on looks versus you considering a million factors in a person. I would never be shallow. That's disgusting. I don't believe in shallow relationships. I'm not into shallow relationships. They're a waste of time for me. Absolute pointless waste of time. I'd rather plow my time and energy into building a website, to be quite frank with you. I'm a business girl, you know? I like to do something productive and creative than have a shallow relationship. If a guy wants a shallow relationship with me, then he can bog off. I'm not interested. I can look after myself, thank you. I don't need a guy. You know, if I'm with a guy, it's because I choose to spend time with him and choose to be with him. I don't need a guy. I certainly don't need a guy for sex, and I don't need a guy for anything. You know, I support myself, looked after myself. I live on my own flat for years on my own. So, you know what I mean? I don't need a guy for anything. And I certainly wouldn't go with someone based on looks. You know, if I've got, you know, I just wouldn't. Personality is the most important thing for me. Like, I do experience, but that's very difficult and time consuming. It takes so much time to get to know someone. Most people can skip that. Yeah, well, I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in shallow relationships. You know, I mean, that's the problem with online dating, isn't it, these days? Traditional online dating. It's the takeaway society, isn't it? It's like, oh, let's scroll through him, her. Oh, right, yes. Oh, tonight she's talking nicely to me. Tonight she's not talking to me, so I'll go and chat someone else up for sex. Oh, right, okay. Well, tonight that person's busy. I'm going to go on to the next person, chat to them about sex and boobs and breasts or whatever you talk about, and then just get to know, you know. In order to have a very happy, successful, loving, healthy relationship, yes, it's time consuming. Yes, you've got to put a lot of energy to it. And yes, you should think of it as a full-time job. If you cannot commit to a full-time job of being in a relationship, you shouldn't be in one. Stay single. Don't you agree a relationship like that is so high maintenance? But if you're the person who's got high standards, which you should be, then of course it should be high maintenance. It should be take a lot of your time and energy to look after it, because that's part of a loving, healthy, happy adult relationship, rather than this child relationship where you're just skimming through every person in a dating site, swiping across them. That's not a meaningful, loving relationship. You'll get to what, 80 years old, and you'll realize, oh my God, I've just been having like people that are like basically, you know, like I've just been using people for sex and just been having meaningless relationships. If you don't know and don't care about what the other person feels, you will be troubled less. Well, yeah, if you're a nasty piece of work, yeah, you're not the type of guy I'd want to know, that's for sure. Do you know what I mean? But if you don't care about the other person and what they feel, then you're never ever going to have a long-lasting, fulfilling relationship. That takes huge effort otherwise to get along. Yes, but then you look for a person who you're compatible with, and then it should be easier. But relationships aren't meant to be easy. That's what you're brainwashed into thinking as well. Since birth, that relationships are meant to be easy. They're meant to be this walk in the park, like you see in the fairy tales and everything like that. But a true, long-lasting, loving, healthy relationship is involved in deep discussions, in talks, in actually trying to make the other person happy. It's your job as a responsible adult in an adult relationship, not a child relationship where we're swiping and we're going like, oh, I'll be with him tonight, I'll be with her tonight, I'll be with this person tonight, another person tonight, because I need to get my ego fixed, because that's what a lot of the dating scene is. It's an ego boost. It's like, oh, this woman's paying me attention tonight. Oh, I must be hot. Oh, let me have like 10 women's numbers so I can feel better about myself, because you're so insecure. You're an adult, you're 26, yeah, but you don't want an adult relationship. You just want a relationship where you can be having casual sex and not give a shit about the woman. That's what you want. Well, just put a banner over your forehead saying, please, I don't want any quality women coming my way. I just want women for sex. And attract the women you really want. You know, the ones that are just looking to use you too for one night stands and to get a bit of dick. That's what I would say to you. Go for the people that you really want to be with. The women that just want a bit of dick, right? You know, very well suited to that type of person. They'll be low maintenance, they just want a piece of dick, and then they'll go off and try and look for a decent guy who actually wants to make a long-term committed relationship with her eventually. Do you know what I mean? They'll be all right to play around with you for a bit, but that'll be about it. But then if you want that, go ahead. Just make sure in your profile that you're honest. You know, I have no problem with the guys if they're honest about what they really want. If you want a bit of dick, you know, if you want a bit of boob and vagina and you want someone who just wants a bit of dick, then go ahead and advertise that. But be honest about it in your profile instead of lying and saying, I'm a really great. This is what guys do. They go, oh, I'm a really kind, caring, lovable guy who just likes to have a fun time. In other words, yeah, I just want to stick it in you. So yeah, so that an adult relationship takes work, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes energy. That's why I don't want to get into a relationship quickly with someone until I know they're compatible with me. Because at the end of the day, if they're not prepared to go the whole hog, if they just think it's going to be a walk in the park and a skip in the park, they've gone, you know, they've really got no idea. A long-lasting, loving, healthy soulmate type of relationship is based on a lot of honesty, trust. I love that, Heather. I love that. Calvin, you sound like a dictator. That is spot on. That's exactly what Calvin is. A dictator. Exactly. Yeah. Some woman can have his dick as a tater because she won't want anything else because he doesn't want to commit and he doesn't give a shit about her, quite frankly. So I couldn't agree with you more, Heather, there. Exactly. You know, so you know, on this channel, I talk about dating and relationships quite a lot. And I always talk about how to have a loving, happy, healthy, long lasting, sustainable, fulfilling relationship, which is what Calvin doesn't want. You know, he doesn't want a decent woman. He just wants someone who wants a bit of dick. So don't forget to advertise that, Calvin. Any woman who wants a bit of dick, come here, please. I'm sure you'll get lots of women going for you who have, you know, like who are sex mad, who haven't had it for four months or something. Potatoes, Calvin, I love you. Heather, thanks for coming on this channel. You're a beauty, my friend. So yeah, long lasting, loving, healthy relationship does take work. It takes time. It's literally another full-time job. If you're not prepared to have another full-time job because you think you can't cope or deal with it, then don't bother. You know, it's not a walk in the park. Your job is to keep the other person happy and try and satisfy their needs as well as your own. Well, for some people, it doesn't fit in the lifestyle to commit huge amounts of time to someone for basic intercourse. Yeah, a dictator. Exactly, Heather. That's what I said. You just want a woman who wants a bit of dick. So advertise that when you're on all the dating sites. Go, I bet you, Calvin, you're on tons of apps and tons of places that you just pick up women online. Am I right or am I right? You know? I think you can have trust and happiness even if you stay at emotional distance. Well, of course you can't. And especially not with someone like you who's clearly into sticking their dick in a woman, like you've just said. Well, if some people, it doesn't fit in the lifestyle to commit huge amounts of time to someone for basic intercourse. That's the thing, though. A real woman who's really intelligent, good, standard of woman will not want someone for basic intercourse for a guy to stick his dick in. I mean, no woman really wants that. That's what a child does. A guy who doesn't understand the difference between sex and making love, you know? A guy who doesn't understand the difference between sex and making love will just stick it in her, you know, which is disgusting. It's not, you know, do you know most women don't actually have an orgasm through sex? They get it through other means because it doesn't hit the right spot. You know what I mean? So if you think a woman's having pleasure every time you stick your dick in her, then usually she's not, because she can't even orgasm like that. Otherwise, you'll be so involved, your person, your time, maybe even friends will be tied to a relationship, and that's difficult to manage. Don't you agree? No, because you should still have your friends. And actually, I'm very good at organising. Like, if you're a really good person in your life and you're into personal development and growing yourself, which you should be, which you're not going to be, but in a relationship, you need, if you want to grow yourself as a person and grow within the relationship to have a long, happy, loving, healthy relationship, which is what you don't want. DuckTales in your face. Thanks, Heather. That's funny for Calvin. But yeah, so Calvin, you're the opposite type of person for a long-lasting, loving, healthy relationship, which we've just said. You want someone who you're just going to have basic intercourse with. You're going to stick your dick in them, basically, which is, you know, the type of person that I very much don't want. And it will never have a long-lasting, loving, healthy relationship in his life unless you change your attitude. Because the whole thing is you make time for them, you know? I schedule things on my calendar. What, in your opinion, is a long-lasting relationship? Forever, I'm talking about. soulmates forever, right? Which is something that probably scares the life out of you because you're a non-committal, stick it in type of guy, right? Which I'm not that type of girl, right? There's loads of girls that are like that though for a bit, but they'll get up with you. You'll never have a long-lasting, loving, healthy relationship like that, and obviously you don't want one. But come when you're 80 years old or something, and you look back in your life and you think, God, I've just gone through all these women, but no one actually loved me. You're going to be looking a bit like lonely, aren't you, really? Like you've just been using women all the time. You know what I'm saying? So, when you've got partner, you fit them into your life. Like I've been single for years, but I've always made sure I've got a space in my life for that person to fit into. And then you negotiate with them. Like if they've got their friends they got to see, which is really important for them, they need to see their friends. They spend time with their friends. I spend time with my friends. You see each other once or twice a week, like really good quality time with them. Quality is better than quantity. You keep in touch with them because you care about them. You get to know them. Like that's the difference between a monogamous girl like me who's looking for one specific guy to be dedicated to for her life. But obviously I have guy friends. Most of my friends are actually guys, to be honest with you. I get on better with guys in general. So the majority of my friends, my best friends are guys. Obviously Heather's not a guy, but she's a good friend as well, who's on this channel now. But the majority of my friends are guys. Like my best friends are guys, I get on better with guys. But these are good quality guys. They're guys I can 100% trust with my life. They're asexual guys who I know, is not interested in having sex and sticking their bit in or doing anything like that with a woman. They love and respect and care about women and can have a long-lasting, loving, healthy relationship for life without sex at all, ever being part of the equation. They're looking for a person whose mind and heart is beautiful, not their private parts. They don't need to do that. You know what I mean? They don't need to have it involved. That's completely different. This is how the asexual mind is completely different to the sexual mind. The sexual mind's just got one thing on its mind, like within Calvin's, capacity as to how much women he can stick his dick in, right? But you do know that some women do come with sexually transmitted diseases as well. You do realise that, don't you, Calvin? You know what I mean? If you go around shagging loads of women, then some of the women you'll be shagging will have shagged loads of guys, so they'll be sexually transmitting diseases to you, maybe. Do you know what I mean? So you do want to make sure that you keep safe about that, because it's not really good, is it? But if you want a long-lasting, healthy, loving, committed relationship, it's about deep friendship, deep soulmate friendship, companionship. The core foundation of a long-lasting, loving, healthy relationship should be your best friend, because if you're really, really good best friends before you even get into a relationship, you don't want to then lose the person because you've got more invested in them as a friend. If you don't care about them as a friend, it ain't going to last very long, is it? Because you're not going to have invested your heart and your mind and your spirit into them. You're not going to have taken time out to get to know them as a person. Do you know what I mean? You're going to have less investment there. Whereas if you got to know them as a friend first, then you're going to have a lot less reason to want to stick around and be with them and not cheat on them, because you care about them as a deep friend and you don't want to betray your friend. Do you see what I mean? So love should always be born from friendship. Friendship should be the foundation of love. It should be the most important thing. And it should be like, you should share all your secrets. You should, like if a guy wants to look at my Facebook messages, not that he should be really asking that, but if he wants to, like, go ahead. I should be able to see his Facebook messages. He should be able to see, I should be able to ask him anything and he not be afraid to show me, because he's not hiding stuff, doing seedy, disgusting stuff, But it's quite easy to get sex. I mean, I could get sex easily. It's not difficult, is it? I get all sexual guys attracted to me. It's not difficult to have some sex. And what's difficult is actually not having sex and trying to like stay clear of sex, because it's just like everyone's brought up and conditioned to believe that is it. I still think that's difficult to organise, especially if you don't want to commit most of your time to the other person. You're not going to know somebody deep after a night of drinking. It can be so complex. Well, Calvin, I don't drink at all. And clearly you don't want the same type of relationship that I would want. You want to stick your dick in a woman. We've just discussed this. So yeah, if you are of the opinion you don't want to spend time getting to know her, you don't want to organise your life to fit her in your life, you don't want to commit to her, you are a non-committal person. And I don't drink alcohol. I hate alcohol. I can't stand it personally. My friends do, but I don't do it. I don't need to. I just get high on life and love life as it is. I don't need to have drinks. Thanks very much. So there's no guy that's going to get near me when, you know, thinking he's going to take advantage of me because I don't drink, you know, and I've got some good muscles on me as well. So yeah, so I don't drink. I've never been drunk in my life. I never would want to be drunk in my life. No need to drink. It's actually toxins for the body. It's very bad for the liver. It gets your liver to work overtime. But yeah, I mean, obviously you're scared of commitment. You're scared of actually being in that type of relationship because you can't be asked. But a good quality woman is not what you're going to end up with, Calvin. You're never ever going to get a good quality woman for you because you're not a good quality guy. You're not a strong guy. You can't resist other women, for example. You're not into the woman. You're not helping the woman. You're not going to make love to her. You're just going to stick your dick in her. Well, no woman wants that. I mean, she might have a one night stand with you or something if she's that way inclined, but she ain't going to stick around for you because she's not going to be interested in that. You can't, like, you know, touch all her body and make her feel great about herself, you know, not just stick it in her. She's not going to stay with you. She's going to be bored rigid thinking you're a child. You know what I mean? And if you're just like going around all these like dating apps and sex apps or whatever, just to basically get your fix of ego, well, you know, like that's basically all you're after. You have to build your own ego up. I love a decent night at the club. I honestly recommend you get into it. Find a nice bar and try out some drinks. It loosens you up. I'm very happy with the way I am, thanks, Calvin. And yes, I do go out clubbing, but I don't need to drink. I can be out to 2 a.m, clubbing till the end of the night, not even dancing with anyone but myself. And I don't need to drink, thank you. And I am well happy with the way I am. I don't want to loosen up and be a nice, like, have a nice predator try and get me for sex. Thanks very much. I'm quite happy to be a serious girl, you know? I like my own kind of fun. And I don't need to be told by some guy what to do. Thanks very much. So yeah, so it's really important. You know, you're the complete opposite to me, Calvin. You're the type of guy that I would not want to be near in a million miles. They'd be like, yeah, there's a bunch of women that wants to shag, go and do it, but they'll be bored with you very quickly. They won't come back for more if that's all you're doing, sticking your dick in them. They'll be bored, rigid. Wow, you're so strict. Yeah, damn right. I've got boundaries. Damn right I'm strict. Damn right I'm good. Now I love my life. I love it. I'm very organised as well. Why? It's not like I don't respect you and your rules. Doesn't matter what you think of me. I couldn't give a toss, to be quite honest. I'm not here to be liked by you or for you to agree with me. I'm just here to have my opinion and my say. Do you know what I mean? So I really couldn't care less. So yeah, but I'm glad you came on this channel as proof of the type of guy that I hate, to be quite honest with you. As proof of the type of guy that, you know, just wants to shag loads of women and stick their dick in the woman. Do you know what I mean? You're the type of guy that I don't like at all. Who's shallow and egotistical and not even giving a toss about women or their actual feelings or beliefs. Are you British? Well, let me see. I was born in the UK. So, you know, make your own mind up about that one. But yeah, so anyway, I love my life the way it is. Sex free and happy. I've been sex free since 2011, thank God. Hallelujah, brother. I love it. It's the best life ever, you know. And just in case anyone is watching this video and how to have a loving, happy, long-lasting, healthy relationship, just do the opposite of what Calvin suggests you do. Because he wants a nice, shallow, stick the dick in type of relationship. For a loving, happy, long-lasting, healthy relationship, then you know, you need to be really best friends with someone, get to know them really, really super well, so that you have like this attachment to them as a friend, so that you know you have a deep emotional connection with them. You need to realize that being in a relationship, a responsible adult relationship that you want to be in a sustained period of time, like forever, is another full-time job. If you're not prepared to take that full-time job on, don't bother, because it'll save you and the other person a lot of heartache in the long run. If you you know, want a long-lasting, healthy, loving relationship, you have to put time in, you have to put effort in, you have to organize your schedule to meet up with that person, to spend time with them. You have to fit them into your life along with your friends. So you have to like make sure before you even get into a relationship that you've got this little time for them. Like, I'm a really busy person, right? Like today I haven't done all the work I need to do. I've got to do some tonight after this live stream. And you know, it has to be done before tomorrow morning. That's the way it is. But you know, I'm a very busy person, but you know, if I really like someone and I'm prepared to already, that I know that I've made space for them in my life, you know, like maybe I can see them once or maximum twice a week, because of all the work I do, the important work which I need to support. But messaging every day and stuff like that is beautiful, you know, to get to know each other, to keep communication up. And you know, it's just so important that you know, that you keep that you respect the other person, that you're not going around doing what Calvin does and go off with other women, that you're not going, you know, the question earlier as well, you know, about difference between a best friend and a partner. You know, there's certain things you do with your friends that you do with your partner that should be different. So you need to make sure that to have a long lasting, healthy, loving, happy relationship with your partner, you've got boundaries in place with other people, with your friends, people you don't know. So if, for example, someone like Calvin comes along and wants to stick their dick in you, if you're a woman, that you are strong enough to say no, I've got a boyfriend, if you've got a boyfriend, or vice versa. If you're a guy who's got a woman, that you say no, I've got a partner. If they like, well, that doesn't matter, because some people really don't give a stuff nor monkeys whether they all got a partner or not, then you have to just walk away from them, you know, walk away from the situation, like, you know, show that you're firm, like no, like this, you know. I'm very good at doing that, right? One guy touched my ass in a nightclub, he don't touch it again. I'm like, you do not touch my, do that, you know, don't touch my ass, you know. I can't stand guys like that, you know. And when I'm dancing, I don't even look at guys a lot of the time, because I'm not interested in them, I'm interested in the dancing. So I'm not like, if you make eye contact with guys, that's the easiest way to get a guy to come and see you. Same as with a woman, all you have to do is look across the other side of the room, make eye contact, and they, you know, and that's it, you know. Then you're in for like hot toddy or whatever you want, which I'm not interested in, you know. I'd rather look at the scenery in the room and do some dancing, right? If I don't want a guy to disturb me all night, I want to do 4 hours of dancing on my own, all I do is I don't look at the guys in the eyes, right? I look around me and don't make eye contact with them. I'm in my own world and my own space, and I'm dancing in my own place, right? And these people around me are just like, oh, she's doing her thing, right? Okay, she's doing her thing, like, make way for her. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I'm like when I go because I go to a foreign club sometimes on my own, you know. And the majority of the time, unless I really like a foreign guy there, the majority of the time I'm like dancing on my own, you know, and looking at the wall stuff on the walls and dancing with the wall or whatever, or, you know what I mean, or jumping up and down going yeah, you know, but having my own space, you know. People can't do that though. Most people can't go to a nightclub without making eye contact with and body contact with other people. I can, because I'm going there for dancing. I'm not into sex, I'm not interested in that. I'm there just to enjoy the moment, and I can blank everyone out because I've trained myself really well to do that, you know. I'm very good at acting, actually. I got told when I was at school, I'm digressing here, that I should be actress, because I'm very good at getting into character and getting into the scene, because I'm quite good at, you know, I'm good at blocking out everything around me to focus on the one thing that's in the present moment that I'm concentrating on. So I, you know, like some people can say, oh, did you see that person there, there and there? And I'm like, no, because I just block them out, you know. I'm in my own little world. Sometimes it really annoys guys in nightclubs as well. Like I've blocked some guys out and they're like, why aren't you paying me any attention? Like, I'm here. It's like, because I don't fancy you, mate, and I don't want to dance with you. Now do one, you know. So I just move away from them. You have to, you know, move away from people, you know. Not everyone in the world's as nice as you are. Not everyone in the world's got good intentions, that you can see from Calvin. Just imagine how many Calvins are out there in the world, you know, who want to stick their dick into a woman, and that's it. Imagine every woman that's just after some dick inside them, you know. There's plenty of those around, right? And I always say to a guy who's interested in me, because I get a lot of sexual guys interested in me, I always say, right, there's plenty of women out there for you, right? Like they come on Facebook and they're like, hi, and I'm like, I'm not interested in sex, right? That's all they've said to me, hi babes, or something like that. They say, I like, they haven't even spoken anything else, and I'm like, I'm not interested in sex, please go and find a sexual person, good luck with that, you know, be on your way, I'm not interested, go, you know. And then if they still carry on, I just block them, you know, because it's like, you know what I mean? I know they're after sex. It's like there's so many sexuals around, like Calvin, like for example, you know, if you want to, you just go. That's why people go to nightclubs usually. They go for the sex. So there's so many people that are out there like that. It's easy to get it. So if you want a relationship like Calvin does, just casual sex, yeah, just go out clubbing every single week. But I mean, if you want to settle down, then you know you want to be clubbing with the person you're actually in a relationship with, or you want to be setting really high boundaries like when you're out with anyone, you know, and not like they're gawking at the other opposite sex if you're heterosexual, because obviously that's a come on to them, and not doing sexy dancing with other people if you're in a relationship, like, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, if you're grinding with someone and you've got a partner, that's a bit wrong, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think you just have to watch out for the Calvins of this world. And don't forget, there is a female equivalent of a Calvin out there. There's plenty of them around. But yeah, I always say, like, you know, it's so easy to get sex. Like, I could easily get sex, loads, if I wanted it. I just don't want it. I mean, if I did want it, I could have a different guy every night of the week, you know. If I wanted that, it's not difficult for me to get a guy, you know. I attract loads of sexual guys quite easily. I don't need to do very much. Hello, Sandra. Hi, Sarah. I'm a new subscriber. I'm asexual. I live in the United States, and it's hard to find a non-sexual guy here. Yes. And so, unfortunately, there are quite a few sexual. Well, there's Calvin, who's sexual in this thread at the moment, even though it's an asexual channel. Live in the United States. There is. I do have, Sarah. I do have some asexual groups. On Facebook. Like, if you want to join them. Calvin, I love you, Heather, so much. Thanks for being my friend on here. Yeah, Sarah, it is really hard to get an asexual person, non-sexual guy in the States. I do agree, but there are dating apps for asexuals, and there are asexual groups. I run 3 dating groups for asexuals. One's UK though, but the other 2 are all around the world. There's some asexuals that are in the United States in there, but you know, the United States is huge, and it's really hard to find out, you know, the right asexual. And there's also 2 asexual dating sites as well. So yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Sarah. You're having a hard time. It is really difficult. I live in the UK and I hold asexual meetups in the UK, but there's a guy who holds asexual meetups in Utah. I don't know if you live anywhere near Utah. Tristan's his name. He holds asexual meetups in Utah in the United States. Also on Facebook, Sarah, there's a thing called AceCon, which is a group for people in America, asexuals in America. If you look up AceCon, they have a specific group for asexuals in America. I'm part of it because of all the work I do to help asexuals. I've been helping asexuals online since 2015. So even though I don't live in the United States, I'm part of it. So I can tell people about the group, but they actually have asexual meetups in person in the United States. But again, I don't know where that is. I don't know where they hold them. But they also have a conference in America as well, American Asexuality Conference. I was actually a speaker in the UK Asexuality Conference last year, Sarah, but they do have an American equivalent of that. So if you look up AceCon on Facebook, then you will see it there. There's also ace-book.net, which is an asexual dating site. There's also asexualitic.com, but therefore specifically for asexuals, not sexuals. So people who don't want sex, usually the majority of time. So yeah, there's also ASAP, which is an asexual dating and social app for Android or iPhone. It's got a little cake. So if you're looking for a person, don't know if I still got my phone out. Yeah, I think I have. Like, I'll try and find you the icon. Oh yeah, there it is. It's a little. It's mostly used for dating, right? It's a little, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see the little cake thing? It's that thing there. It's a cake. Yeah, it's a cake. I don't know if you can see that. But anyway, loads of people. It's a bit like Tinder. Not that I know what Tinder's like because I haven't been on Tinder. I'm not interested in sex or sexual guys. But do you swipe people? So you might find that helpful, Sarah. That's free to download from the Play Store, I think it is, or Apple Store. And that's got quite a few people in America, but all over the globe. But you can set your settings. I set it to all global now, but I used to set it just to the UK. But I found I was getting not many people to talk to, but same people. So yeah. So if you try that as well, like, I hope you find someone. It is really difficult to get a suitable asexual person. I have to agree with you. It's hard. I mean, I've got asexuals in my city. I've got 2 guys and a girl. Obviously, I'm only attracted to guys. I'm hetero romantic. The 2 guys, they're not suitable to be in a relationship with. One's we're really not each other's type at all. Thank you. Yeah, and the other one is too old for me. Okay, I will look into those dating sites. I'm willing to travel. I don't know about the conferences. Utah is 12 hours away from me. I will download that asexual app. Thank you for showing me. You're welcome, Sarah. Anything I can do to help. asexuals is why I'm here, you know. It's just that this stream got kind of took over by Calvin, who's highly sexual, shallow, stick it in a woman type of guy, unfortunately. But I think it's good to have him as an example of what you don't want in a relationship, what you really want to avoid, the type of person you must avoid at all costs, you know, especially as an asexual person. Sadly, these people do exist out there. You know, so yeah, so it's ace-book.net, you know, like ace with a hyphen book.net and asexuality.com. I'm on both of them. I've been on them since 2014. I actually end up speaking to a lot of people to get them come to my meetups through these platforms as well, because I help asexuals out a lot as well. So I've been helping people out on this channel since 2015. Yeah, and I've got a blog, asexualized.com. I've got an asexual blog, and asexualizeacademy.com. That's like I got a free course in asexuality basics for beginners, so anyone can take it so they can understand like the basic fundamentals of asexuality and the aromantic spectrum within asexuality. So I'm going to have some paid for courses starting soon on there as well. I start planning to do the first one next month, so that'll be really good. So yeah, it's a shame you don't live in the UK, because I hold meetups in my city, but people travel from all over the UK to them. Like my best friend, he lives in Hertfordshire. He comes like, it's like 400 miles away from where I live. But I've had people coming from London, Brighton, Newcastle even. Like the guy from Brighton, I think, he was spent hours on a train. The guy from Newcastle, I think it was 11 hours on a coach. And then he stayed in a B&B and then went back for 11 hours. So people come from all over the UK, especially for my meetups, which is really nice. I'm really good at organising them as well. So to make sure everyone who's travelling, you know, like it's all coordinated. And like with my best asexual friend, I'm spending like 4 whole days with him. Well, 2 whole days and like 2 half days with him next week. So I'll be like, my asexual meetups don't just go on for a day, they go on for days, because the people that come before, after, and stay in hotels, I'm with them the day before or after. So it's like an extended meetup for me. But next week's my birthday, so I'm having like a asexual meetup for my birthday, and the night before a pre-birthday meal, Chinese, and then I'm going out with my friend clubbing. So, and one of the other people from the meet's coming, so I'm like having like 6 of us to Chinese. So you can get to meet asexuals in real life, but it is hard. But if you're willing to travel, that's really good, Sarah, because you have to be willing to travel to meet another asexual. That's why I always say as well, when I give advice on this channel about asexual dating relationships, you have to be either a mover or find someone to move or travel to see the person. If you're not prepared to travel outside your city, you're not going to meet someone for a relationship. It's just not going to happen, because the likelihood of you finding an asexual in the first place in your city is remote. You'd be lucky if you find 2 or 3, but finding the one that actually matches you in a relationship terms is pretty much impossible to get in your city unless you happen to be very, very lucky, because a lot of the time your needs, wants, likes and dislikes in the relationship will be different. Your hobbies can be different. So the 2 guys that are in my city, for example, one of them, he's okay as a mate, and I see him occasionally outside meetups, but we have hardly anything in common apart from IT. Like I build websites and he does that for a living. But we're very, very different people with different parts of the asexual spectrum. We're both romantic, but he's a different type of romantic asexual. He's still hetero, but he's got other, you know, like his other parts of the spectrum. And we have nothing in common. He's nearly the same age as me as well, birth certificate age, and I'm not interested in guys anywhere near my birth certificate age. I only like younger guys. I'm an asexual cougar, not a sexual one. So I like younger guys in their 20s, but not to have sex with. So yeah, so you know, it's really difficult. So the fact you're prepared to travel is good. It's really good, Sarah. And yeah, look at Google or look on Facebook for AceCon America. Look for AceCon, which, you know, like make sure it's an asexual group. There's a few other groups that have similar words to them, but might not be an asexual group. So make sure like they've got an asexual flag or something on it. And you can always connect with me on Asexualized Facebook page afterwards, and then I can always you know, send you the link for the group. But make sure, you know, like there's a lot of groups on Facebook actually, so you can connect to a lot. If you just look at asexual groups, you can connect to a lot of people in the groups, and then you can look for a relationship. Because there's like, I do 2. I've got run the asexualized dating for asexuals only who don't want sex ever. So I run that group, and that's specifically for asexuals who never want sex, like they don't want it ever. And then I run the grey asexual and demisexual dating group for asexuals who sometimes may want sex upon occasion. So I run both of them for like different ends of the spectrum. And I also run a friends group, asexual friends group, for people who are just looking for friendship. And I run the UK asexuality dating one, that's just for UK people. I got a business group as well. So yeah, I run a lot. It's a lot of groups. But yeah, so there's a lot of people in America, but trying to find the exact one. I know a guy in Canada. I don't know if you live near Canada. I know a guy in Canada. He's a nice person. I think at the moment he's just looking mostly for friends, but I think he wouldn't mind being in a relationship. But he lives in Canada, but he's older than me in birth certificate age. He's 45, but he looks younger. He's a nice person. But even he does have some porn sites, pages, which when I saw that I was like quite shocked, because I know him on Twitter and I knew him on ASAP as a friend, and then when I went on his Facebook page, he's like quite a lot of the sex pages, like where women have basically got nothing on, and I didn't like that about him, that one thing, and I couldn't be friends with him on Facebook. I said, oh, I'm sorry, but I can't be friends with you on Facebook because I don't want to go on your page and see that stuff. I just gives me a different opinion of him. Like, he's on the more sexual end of the spectrum. He's demisexual. Do you know what I mean? He's not like me exactly. He's asexual. He's on the asexual spectrum, but he's, demisexual, meaning, that demisexuals are ones that only feel sexual attraction when a deep emotional connection is formed. And once that emotional bond is formed with a specific person, usually, which doesn't happen that often or with many people, but when it does, they'll want sex. Do you know what I mean? They'll experience a sexual attraction. So he's on the more sexual end. So, but it's kind of like when I saw that, I was a bit personally horrified because I'm not into nudity, and I don't want a guy that's looking at that type of stuff because it's just wind me up. Really, I don't like it. It's horrible. I think it's glorifying women's private bits, and I don't like it, to be honest. So when I saw that about him, I was actually, because I'm into foreign guys, I was actually attracted to him. I Skyped him, and then afterwards, when we connect on Facebook, he friend requested me. I looked and I'm like, no, I can't be friends with you. I respect the fact you're different to me, but I can't be friends with you now. Because I just don't like, I don't like guys being into that, and even though I'm just friends with them, I'm like, it put me off ever fancying him. Like, more than a friend. It did put me off, so that was quite good, useful exercise. I'm ordering your book soon. Oh, thank you. I have been watching your videos and they are helpful. Happy early birthday. I'm on the sexual repulsed spectrum. I'll look up those sites that you gave me. Oh, thank you so much, Sarah. Oh, that's really nice. I'm glad the videos are helping you. You're sex repulsed like me then, yeah? Yeah, it's horrible, isn't it? I can't stand sex. I'm so glad I don't have to have that anymore. Felt so relieved when I found that out, It's just like, when you're doing it because you think you have to, because you're in a relationship and that's what everyone's expecting of you. When you realise that there's people who can love you without sex, you're like, happy days, I don't have to be subjected to a heterosexual relationship anymore, because there's like thousands of asexuals out there. It's hard to get the right asexual for a relationship, I have to admit. I've been looking for like 2000 since 2014. It's 2019 now. But it's like, asexual love to me is the most purest form of love, because you've got no body parts needed in it. You know what I mean? It's like the body, it's like the mind, the soul, the heart to heart, And yeah, I got a copy of the book here myself actually, but this is a printed edition, which is, yeah, as you see, it's a bit like warm because I keep flicking through it and reading bits of it. But it's really good. I mean, the Kindle version's out obviously, and the PDF, the link's all down below. But yeah, this is the thing. Reason I like the printed copy quite a lot is because it's very easy to read. All the questions, and each person has their own chapter, which obviously is the same as a Kindle book. But I just think it's really easily, easily laid out in the book. You can see it a bit more, and every person. This is like my beginning bit of a story. Every person's got like their own chapter. So like this person here is number 7, you see. So because I'm personally a slow reader, even though I love to write, right? If I'm like, like reading, it can get a bit much sometimes reading a big book like this, because it's a huge book. It's like 560 pages, but each person has got like their own chapter. So it's easily, you can read a chapter a night and get through it. You know what I mean? And you can really concentrate on the little chapters. That's why I specifically wrote it out like that. So each person's got their own chapter, which you can, it's easily to digest that way. That's what I'm trying to say. But it is really good. I know I wrote it, but I interviewed 46 asexuals and tell my own personal story in it. So, you know, like, it really helped me just writing the book. Like, it helped me understand the asexual spectrum better because there's so much to it. And you can read all the textbook definitions you want on the internet, but until you're actually in that situation yourself, it's very hard to like just give textbook definitions and understand everything. But with this book, people kind of like show you the spectrum, the asexual spectrum, that rather than just tell you textbook definition, they show you it through all the different stories and how they react differently in the different sexual situations that they're put in, and with this highly sexualized life, you know, like there's sex repulsed asexuals in here, there's ones that will do it to please their partner. There's an asexual person that's actually with a bisexual and they don't need sex and they're happy to live without it, which is very unusual because most sexuals can't live without sex. But yeah, they do actually have a bisexual. They say my partner is bisexual and that it was never an issue for them not having sex. So that's really nice, especially for us sex repulsed asexuals, Sarah, to have someone like a sexual person say that. And actually, there is a guy on ASAP. He's 20s in the UK actually, and he is like he's good because he said I'm not asexual, but I can live I can live a happy sex-free life, can live happily having a sex-free life basically. And it was nice and refreshing to see that on there because I don't see many people actually saying that. A lot of the people on ASAP, you know, the ones that aren't asexual, they lie about it, cover it up. And I find it out because I'm very good at finding out when they're not telling the truth. And I've got lots of experience, that's why. But there is one guy, and he actually says, you know, you can just live a happy sex-free life. And so that was really refreshing. So I think that does give a little bit of hope. There's a few people out there that can live without sex that are sexual, but it doesn't happen very often. They're very, 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 very rare. Because a lot of them, even if they say they can live without it, they're all right for a bit without it. And then all of a sudden, the more intimate you get, if you like kissing with them, you know, they'll just think, oh, well, I can't control myself anymore. You know, I need sex now. And it's kind of like heartbreaking if you've been with them a while and then they change their mind. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, I'm still me. I can't have sex because I don't like it. Do you know what I mean? It's my orientation. So it can become really difficult. But, you know, there's a few people that make it work, just not many. Usually the sexual has to do some sort of sex stuff or sex acts. And, you know, like if you're not comfortable with that, it's no good, is it? But it's really nice. I really recommend thank you, Heather. I really recommend going to an asexual meetup, Sarah, if you can, because it gives you much more relatability. Like you've got people who are you're able to talk to and confide in, and they're on the same wavelengths as you. Like I think when I'm with my asexual friends, there's no sexual tension there. There's no sexual energy. I can feel completely safe with them. I feel like we're in our own little world. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like it's just bliss. It's just really bliss and really comfortable. So I'm glad you can travel because it'll be definitely worth meeting up with them, other asexuals, because you'll just feel like, wow, I can relate to these people. They're on my wavelength. You can feel comforted and supported in who you actually are. You don't have to put on a show for them. You don't have to worry about what you dress like. You know, you don't have to worry about what you say. You know, like we're different. You know, like in the meetups, there's different types of asexuals that come, but you all respect each other. And you know, there's none of this sexual tension or this rubbish sexual stuff going on. You know, because obviously, you know, if you're sex repulsed like I am, when you meet sexuals, for example, if you're dating or in a going, or even if you're not officially dating but you're going on somewhere with them, you know, really it is an unofficial date. You know, there can be all this sexual tension, can't there, and this expectation and nervous. Well, it makes me nervous. Do you know what I mean? But when you're at an asexual meetup, it's nothing like that. Like everyone's like really just doesn't need sex. They're not interested. I mean, even the people that I've met, they're on the more sexual end of the spectrum. They're still really respectful and they're still like not really that much into it. They're more confused about like how do they fit into the spectrum and like how would they go about, like, you know, if they're demisexual, they find it hard because, you know, they need that strong bond before they'll even experience sexual attraction. So I just think it's really good. I'm so glad you can travel, but definitely look up AceCon, look up Asexual Conference in America as well, because I think that's coming up this summer as well. So that'll be really good for you as well. So yeah. And thank you in advance for getting my book, Sarah. I really appreciate that. I think it will really help you. It really helped me, like, just to show me the asexual spectrum rather than tell me. I thought it was invaluable. There's a lot of humour in my book as well, which isn't well known about. You know, when I started reading the book and people's stories, some of it's quite funny. Some of it's very serious, traumatic and heartbreaking. And then other stuff is really funny in it. Like, asexuals have got a very good sense of humour, I think. There's some good analogies in it and some really funny things in it as well. Anyway, I think I'm gonna leave the stream for tonight. Thank you so much, Sarah, for watching this. If you've got any questions in the meantime, please post them down below. Thank you for watching these videos. I'm glad you found them helpful. I'm glad that I found your channel. I agree with you. Asexual love is the purest form of love. A guy that I know started making fun of me because I am a sex repulsed asexual. Well, before I go, hi Philip. Before I go, yeah, that is disgusting, Sarah. Started making fun of you because you're a sex repulsed asexual. Just ignore them. You know, there's a guy on this stream, if you look his name up, it's Calvin, and he was just being like, he's just a stick the dick in type of guy, which you definitely don't want, you know. And just take no notice. He's the type of guy that was making fun of me or something. I just take no notice. There's, you know, they don't affect my life because at the end of the day, you know, we are who we are. Our sexual orientation is the lack of sexual attraction, right? You know, so we don't experience sexual attraction. We don't need urge want for it. So it stands to reason that quite a lot of asexuals are going to be sex repulsed because we're not into sex, right? We're not thinking about it. We're not wanting it. We're not needing it. And it's pretty gross. I mean, I've had sex, but there's, you know, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, it can be painful, you know, and it's quite messy. And it's like, do you know what I mean? And that's not love, you know. And like I said, I'm glad you agree that asexual love is really the very, very purest form of love you can get. Like, it's heart to heart, soul to soul, mind to mind. You don't need to have genitals involved in the love between you. You know, and I think it's a very, very deep, like, even though I haven't been, there was a guy that I was in an asexual online relationship with for about a month, but I never met him in person. And I could imagine if that had been a good relationship, which it ended up not being, that it would have been a really good, like, pure asexual love relationship. But I know from just knowing about asexuality and the pure love that it is really amazing. Like, it's the best form ever of love because there's no genitalia involved. There's no need to see that or do anything with it. You love the person for their personality. You love their mind. You love their soul. You love them for who they are. And it doesn't matter if they change their body shape. It doesn't matter if they ever get disabled. It doesn't matter if they ever, you know, can't have sex. You're still going to love them forever. And I think that's super special, you know. I find it quite sad when I find people that I see in groups, because I've got fibromyalgia. I don't really talk about it very much, but it's a disability that affects the nerves and muscles of the body. So it means basically some people are on crutches or in a wheelchair with it. I'm quite fortunate in that I'm a lively, energetic, bubbly girl, but a lot of people are bedridden with it or can't do much with it. And a lot of people with fibromyalgia can't actually have sex. And, you know, without it really, really hurting them. Some of them just can't have it at all. And I'm in fibromyalgia groups. And some of the people in there, the women, their husbands have left them because they can't have sex anymore. And they just need the sex. And I think that's just so upsetting. And the good thing about an asexual person is that it doesn't matter if you can never have sex ever again in life. If you're not asexual and you had an accident, for example, or you're impotent, or you had a disability that prevented you from having sex, you know, that person can love you forever and never need that from you. And they will still be with you forever. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's really important, Sarah, to know that, you know, and take no notice of people that make fun of you, know, just point them in my direction. I'm quite happy to tell them off on this channel. I'm very outspoken, as you know, I'm quite happy to tell guys that they're being idiots, you know, like this Calvin guy on here who's a stick it in type of guy, which, you know, some asexuals could be a bit put off watching this video because obviously it's got him talking about sex stuff all the time. But I think it's good to have an example of a type of guy you really don't want, and the type of guy that's wants a relationship that's the unhealthiest relationship you can possibly get, the most shallowest and egotistical on his part that you can possibly get. So I think it's important to bring to light these guys and to actually have one in the stream. It's like, well, there you go. That's the guy that you definitely don't want to be anywhere near, especially as an asexual. So yeah, you know, I really admire the fact you're sex repulsed asexual as well. You know, I have to say, you know, like I'm happy that I haven't had sex since 2011, even though I've had it in the past. You know, I think it's really good. I think it's a lot healthier for me. You know, like when you're doing that, if you don't want to do it, because obviously, like I didn't really ever think I want to do it with a guy. Like I didn't. Like with my ex, I never said no. It was all consent. You know, I was consenting. But that's because I thought that to as part of a relationship. But like I would be doing the washing up and I'd be having my headphones on, listening music, washing up. I hate washing up, by the way. I can't stand housework. But when he used to come up behind me, he used to come up and touch my breast to instigate sex with me. And I was like, I really just rather stay listening to the music and doing the washing up than go and have sex, which, you know, heterosexuals don't think like that, do they? Do you know what I mean? They're like wanting the sex. And I hate housework, but I'd much rather do that than have sex. And, you know, and I was doing it because I felt like I had to as part of a relationship expectation. I honestly thought there was no one else in the world like me. Seriously, I thought I was the only one, which is why I went to see the counsellor, you know, and how I found out I was asexual. I won't tell you everything because it's in my book, but you know, it's really difficult when you think you're the only one, and just take no notice of people that make fun of you. I mean, I could make fun of them for the fact they need sex so much that the whole blooming world, you know, like, I mean, I think it's quite hilarious that sexuals need sex so much that the whole world makes so much money out of sexuals, you know? It's like you can't live without sex. Like, think of all the money that the clothing industry's making off you. Think of all the money that all the sex toys industry's making off you. Think of all the money that the pornography people are making off you. You know, the fact that sexuals can't live without sex and they're addicted to it. What does that say about how strong person they are? It doesn't, does it? It shows they're very, very weak, very, very weak people, actually. And they, you know, this shows they're weak. I think it's a very, very weak thing to do, to be honest with you. I have sexual friends though, so but this channel's geared towards asexuals, not sexuals. So, but you know, I do have sexual friends. I respect them, but I do think, you know, like it's very weak. Like the world is very weak. It's all geared towards making people stimulated through genitals, private bits, and everything like that. And I think it's very, very weak when people are so gullible to fall for it. Basically, it's like they don't realize how much they're just being sucked in to that world, how much conditioning they're under. You know, whereas me and you, Sarah, we broke free of that conditioning. We are independent people that have a mind of our own, can think for ourselves, and are not grown up with the conditioning and staying in that conditioned way. So actually, we are the bright shining stars amongst all the sort of like black holes in the world, if you know what I mean. Asexuals are able to see the world completely different to how everyone else sees it. We're able to, you know, like not be interested in genitalia, to not be interested in sex scenes, to not be interested in the physical body. I'm outcasted sometimes because of it. I was called a lesbian when I was a child and teenager. I'm in my 30s now. Thank you, Sandra, for your support. Thank you for all the information that you gave me. You're welcome, Sarah. I'm always here for you. You can always come on this channel, you know. I'm sorry they've treated you like that. It's really bad. I mean, I've always been into guys and I thought I was heterosexual because I do have high arousal levels, which, yes, it is very weird to admit that as an asexual. It kind of freaks me out sometimes. It's like, how can you have high arousal levels when don't experience sexual attraction? So I do have that grey area, I have to admit to you, you know, and be honest about it. Like when I'm kissing a guy, for example, I get very aroused in my body, but I don't think in my head I want sex with him. It's just sometimes I like the feeling of my body. Other times I get quite scared. I'm like, what's going on with my bits? Do you know what I mean? Because obviously sex repulsed and arousal doesn't always necessarily go together. So sometimes I have a bit of a battle in my head between like, I want to run away right now because this is feeling too sexual for me. And I really enjoy the feeling of being aroused while kissing, but I don't want it to go any further. That's kind of like I get a bit stuck between that. But I have had people, when I say that I'm asexual, say to me, oh, so you're a lesbian then? And it really, really annoys the heck out of me. It's like, no, I'm into guys. I'm heteromantic. Hetero meaning the opposite sex I'm into. Romantic, I'm romantically attracted to them, not sexually attracted to them. So, but it really annoys me. And that's why, you know, I know asexuality is technically part of the LGBT plus QIA community. So we're technically part of LGBT, but I don't actively participate in that, partly hugely because I'm asexual heteromantic. I'm not I'm not lesbian, I'm not gay, I'm not bi romantic or bisexual, I'm not a transgender. Do you know what I mean? I'm not agender, I'm not any of those, so I don't really fit in there in that way, you know? And I get so fed up of being accused of being lesbian that it puts me off going in marches. Like, there's a march in my city for LGBT, right? And other people from other places have come to partake in it for asexuality. But I get so, like, personally for me, I feel uncomfortable because I feel like if I go with them, how will the world know that I'm any different when it's an LGBT group? How will people know that I'm not lesbian? Not that it really matters what the world thinks, but I feel uncomfortable with it because I feel like for asexuals I should be going out there. And I'm not saying I never will, because I might one day think, sod it, I will just make sure I'm that bigger deal out of asexuality while I'm there, you know, waving the flag and making sure I'm really well known. But I mean, imagine me wearing one of my t-shirts. I don't know if you know that I do t-shirts on Redbubble for asexuals under asexualized brand. And there's one t-shirt I've got saying I'm asexual, not asexual. Well, imagine if I wore that to an LGBT march. I don't think they'd be very happy about it. But that's kind of what I'd like to wear, because it's like, well, I'm not actually sexual, but the LGBT community is actually sexual. That's why there's so many problems, because a lot of asexuals who are in LGBT groups, they feel left out because they're still highly sexual, because they're still sexually attracted to people. Just it's different to heterosexuality, right? So, you know, if they're bisexual, they're attracted to both genders, or homosexual, they're attracted to, you know, the same gender. But, you know, like, asexuals are sexually attracted to no one, diddly squat, nothing. So our sexuality is still based completely different to what they're based on. Our asexuality is based on, you know, our sexuality is based on who we're not sexually attracted to, whereas their sexuality is based on who they are sexually attracted to. So it's completely different. And you know, and that's why it's very difficult for asexuals to be in the LGBT community, because when they're in the groups, you know, a lot of people in there are talking highly sexual. I've only been attracted to one guy. I've never had a boyfriend, because they hear asexual, they disappear. As asexuals, we need our own match. Yeah, I know. It's really, really, really difficult to get someone if they're not asexual, you know, because most of them, they do disappear. And if they don't disappear, then they say they can live without sex, but usually they can't. And so it's very, very hard, I think, you know. I think it's better if you can get an asexual person to be with you, because I think, and you know, you've got no worries. I think the danger of being with a heterosexual person is obviously they could always cheat on you, whereas an asexual person, genuine asexual person, will never do that to you. Not physically anyway. They might emotionally cheat. A few of them could. You know, I've met some asexual guys, for example, who go around chatting loads of women up, even though they're asexual. You know, they're chatting me up and some other woman. You know, there was one guy, Indian guy, a long time ago, and he was chatting about me and two other women up. You know, so they're not all sweet and innocent, but you know, when you do have another asexual person, you've got nothing to worry about. You know, they're not going to go off and leave you with, and they're not going to go behind your back. You know, if they went to a nightclub, for example, they wouldn't go off and have sex because it's not nature. They're just not interested in it. You know, like, it's like someone trying to feed someone pizza who wants to throw up if they see a piece of pizza. They're never going to touch it in a million years. They're not going to go anywhere near it. They're going to run a mile. Where, you know, that's what an asexual person's like. Whereas if you get a heterosexual, you know, they might be tempted, they might be looking, they might be chatting friendly and have no boundaries in place. You know, it's more anxiety, more worry, more stress. It's a lot harder, I think, if you've got a relationship with a sexual than an asexual. I think if you can get a relationship with an asexual, it's much better for you. I mean, I was dating a heterosexual the year before last, but he was really sexual. I don't know why I did it, but anyway, he was foreign. He was older than me in birth certificate as well, which I don't usually do. But yeah, it was like really worrying. Like, I was coming back in the car with him. He ended up being a psycho anyway, so I had to get rid of him. But when I come back in the car, he said, "Oh, it'd be much easier for you to be with an asexual guy, wouldn't it?" And we're like, "Well, yeah," because, like, you know, he wasn't trustworthy. Like, we went to Ministry of Sound together. So we went to Thorpe Park, and there was a Ministry of Sound weekend. He knows he knew I was asexual. I was with him, dating him, not with him in a relationship, but dating him for 2 months. So it was quite a long time. And, you know, and when I was in the club, right, I'm enjoying the dance, trying to enjoy the dance, but I couldn't, because he's just looking around above my head at all these women. Like, he said to me, "Oh, I'm not going to go," because I was really worried about him being around other women in the club while I was with him. And he's like, "Oh, I'm not going to go off with anyone else. You're fine." But he may as well have gone off with them. I mean, he wasn't actually going off with them as such, but he was looking over my head at them. And they clearly fancied him. They were getting closer to him, and he was getting closer to them while he's still dancing with me. And I just thought it was disgusting. And anyway, when I went back in the car with him, he said, "Oh, yeah, this woman was touching me, but you didn't know about it." Damn, girl, you fresher than boxed wine. Thank you. Yeah, I am. I've been going on this live stream for like, what, 1 hour and 50 minutes, and I'm still energetic. Yeah, I'm still energetic, like nearly 2 hours later. I don't really run out of energy very easily. If I do, I just eat more. So I will eventually need to go off and get food. But yeah, so I think it's really important to try and get an asexual person if you can. I think it's less worry, less stress, less hassle. Like I said, with this heterosexual guy, it's horrible. And I found out when he came back in the car, he'd been telling me that, oh yeah, this woman, she was like touching my hands, and like when you weren't looking, you had your back turned. She was doing this with me. Well, you know what I mean? There's no way an asexual guy would let that happen. He would be like, even his whole body and mannerisms would be like, get away from me. Whereas with a heterosexual guy, you've got that worry constantly there that they don't get it. They've got different mindset. Their body language is different. Their behavior's different. You know, they can't say no. A lot of them, they don't. You know, some of them are so kind to women they can't even say no. I mean, that's just ridiculous. That's not a man, in my opinion. That's just a wimp and someone who's actually a people pleaser. I can't be with a people pleaser. You know, I like a guy to respect women, be kind to them, and not a people pleaser. Like, knows that not all women are nice and not all women are good. You know, there's a lot of sexual women who aren't good, not just sexual guys. You know, because I do talk a lot on this channel about sexual guys being not very good in their behaviour, but there's a lot of sexual women that aren't good. There's a lot of sexual women who don't even care if the person's with a partner. I mean, I've got friends, and I know 3 friends, women, all great to me, really kind, gentle, kind-hearted people, really nice to me, right? But all of them have been with guys who've been in relationships with other women. And personally, I think that's disgusting. You know, like, I think that's so disgusting. But they don't care they've got partners. They couldn't care less. You know, like sex. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, their partner's not paying them any attention. I'll pay them attention. It's just really weird. I mean, in the case of one of them, it's not exactly like that. It was her ex, and they had a kid together, and it was a bit deep. But there was a lot of stuff going on. But you know, with the other, and I knew a person at work as well that was doing it. You know, so women aren't necessarily all this like sweet, innocent people that they make out sexual women. You know, sexual women can just be as bad as sexual men, and that's what was horrible about the clubbing that I went to with him. Like, I wanted to enjoy the dance, but I just hated it because he was just like, you know, you could tell, like, even though I was here and he was there, clearly he was looking above my head at women. Clearly he was looking around him. The women were nearly touching him either side of me, you know, like nearly touching his hand and his body and his hips. I thought, I'm not stupid. You know, you may not be physically actually full on snogging him or touching him up, but I know what's happening here. It's just horrible. I had to have words with him about 3 or 4 times, and it was just sport the whole night. It's just horrible for me. It's like, you don't give a toss about me. All you care about is these other women and the sexual energy between you and them. And so, yeah, I do think if you're going to get an asexual guy for you, it's a lot better. Just, it's really hard to get the right match. I mean, I've been searching since 2014. It's really difficult, you know, because we've all got certain different needs, likes, wants, dislikes. So it's hard, but, you know, don't give up hope. That's what I would say. You know, and try and get a good person for you. And like, you know, like, yeah, I mean, I always tell people straight away that I'm asexual as well, you know, as soon as I can. I think it's good, you know, like some people in my dating groups are like, you know, like, when do you tell someone you're asexual? Well, I tell them as soon as I meet them, usually, well, in the first 5 minutes if I can, or if not, as the day progresses or the time progresses with them. Like, when I first met them, try to get it in there somehow. I mean, I'm quite lucky because I've got a book out, so I'll just start saying, oh, I write books. So what do you write about? Oh, yeah, this is one of my books, actually, and show them on Amazon. Do you know what this means? Asexual, and start talking to them about it. That's quite a good way to talk about it with someone. But, you know, like, I know asexuality is a huge spectrum, but I just say it means I don't like sex because they can understand it more. Then if you start saying, well, this is a huge spectrum and some asexuals will have sex, but I won't because I don't like it. You know, they're not really going to get that in their brain. They're going to be like, well, what's the difference between that and a heterosexual then? They're not going to understand it. So it's much better you just say, you know, like, I'm an asexual who doesn't like sex, you know, and don't worry, you know, like, you can get love without sex, you know. I mean, I do have 2 really good asexual guy friends that I'm really close to, and they love me as their friend. I know they do. They'll always be with me, and there for me whatever happens. So like, boyfriends can come and go, which, you know, hopefully one will stick around, you know, without sex. If it's asexual, much more likely to do that. But, you know, those guys will always be there for me. I know that, you know, they'll always be my best friends. You know, I trust them implicitly with my life, really. They've always been open, honest, never lied about anything to me. And like, I don't usually trust guys very easily, but one of them, my best friend who I'm seeing for 4 days soon, within 3 weeks of like meeting up with him, no, not 3 weeks, 3 days of meeting up with him at my first asexual meet he came to, like, I've been doing them for a while, the meetups, so the one that he came to, like, within 3 days, the whole 3 days of meetup, I trust him. But I'd known him in one of my groups, my no sex dating group, for quite a few months before. I've known of him, and I, you know, used to see his posts, so I knew he was quite trustworthy. But within 3 days, I was ultimately totally trusting him. I've never done that before with a guy in my life. Usually I don't trust them. They have to prove that they're trustworthy. And then with my other best friend, who watches this channel quite a bit, took a little bit longer to trust him, in the sense that I guess we didn't spend much time with each other. And we were doing emails, but I don't think that long till I trusted him. Like I trust him implicitly as well. We share a lot of secrets, and he's a really good guy. Both of them are good guys. I hope they find someone really good for them. Like, you know, one of them's more into guys. My best friend from Hertfordshire, he's a pan romantic, but with a preference aesthetically for guys. He really needs to be with a guy. Hence why I'm no good, because I'm female and he's not into kissing, and I'm kissing in a relationship. And then my other friend, he likes guys and girls. Preference, I think, for girls, but he's not so fussed about a relationship like I am, you know. And we're better off just as friends. We've got some different interests, and he was older than I'd usually go for as well. So I'm not, you know, in the past there's been like I've been romantically attracted to him, not aesthetically, you know, and I couldn't be in a relationship with a guy I'm not aesthetically attracted to. So yeah, we're not suitable to be together in a relationship, but they're my best friends, and they'll always look after me, and they'll always love me like friends, you know. I know that about them. I really care about them as my friends. They're amazing. But we're both, like, me and my friend Sam, who's from Hertfordshire, we got exactly the same boundaries, like with friends. Like, I know, for example, whenever he gets into a relationship, he will never ever cheat. Like, if a woman comes or bloke comes anywhere near him, he'll be like, no, I'm not interested, get lost. Even though he's a really kind, caring guy to women, he like helps his mum all the time, who's disabled. He's got, well, he's had women friends in the past. He's really caring towards women. But if a woman comes on to him sexually, he would literally run a mile and tell them to get stuffed, basically, you know. He'd be looking at them like, excuse me, go away. Do you know what I mean? So, and he's got exactly the same boundaries as me in relationships and friendships. That's why me and him are very, very friendship compatible. Like, I would like a guy like him in a relationship, really, because his boundaries are exactly the same as mine. So I know there's never any problem ever being with a person like him in a relationship, because he will literally, I know, whatever woman comes up to him will blow, if whoever gets in a relationship with him, which we're not suitable to be together in a relationship, but I know that whoever gets to be with him in a relationship is going to be a very, very lucky person, because he has exactly the same boundaries as me. Like, you know, like, he doesn't kiss his friends. He will just about hug them, and that's it. He would never cuddle his friends, you know. He has space between me and him when we're dancing, for example. He will literally, if a woman ever came onto him, he would tell her where to go. Right, he wouldn't like be mincing his words like that. He you know, he's had friends in the past, women that have liked him more than a friend, and he's told them blatantly that, thank you very much, but I don't like you in that way, you know. So he's very, very good like that. He's very, very good. And my other friend as well, he would not have a woman do stuff to him that he didn't want, or, you know, like, if he was in a relationship, you know, his woman would be very, very important, or bloke, but I think it's more like to be with a woman. Is really important to him, you know. He wouldn't be interested, you know, like, his whole body language, you know, says that he's not interested in sex with women, and he's a really nice person to talk to, really lovely person. So I do think it's very different being with an asexual guy in a relationship or potential relationship than it is being with a sexual. You know, the sexual, you've always got like the worry in the back of your mind, like what they're doing, what they're up to, are they cheating, are they chatting another person up, are they, do they know boundaries, are they able to implement them, do they even want to implement them, are they being too over friendly? You know, if a woman comes on to him, for example, is he actually going to say no, or is he going to like his ego that much that he thinks, yeah, you know, like, is he going to be like looking at all these other women naked when you're not with him, chatting women up and stuff like that? Just too much, really. It's very stressful, very anxiety inducing. I have anxiety, so it doesn't help that at all. You know, I like to be with an asexual guy. There's no worry there. There's no fear. You just chill out all your life and know that they have your back, and you'll never ever have to worry about them cheating in your life. You know, you'll never have to worry about them, you know, like not understanding boundaries. You'll never have to worry about them, you know, like looking at other women. They just won't, they're not interested in the naked body and look at other women usually. Well, there's a few asexuals that are, but I wouldn't be with a guy like that. You know, my bestest friend from Hertfordshire, for example, he's sex repulsed, but he's also naked repulsed as well. So me and him are exactly the same. We can just watch a kids movie together and have so much fun, laugh about it. We're making chicken noises to one, like Paw Patrol. We went to kids club together on a Saturday and we watched this whole like feature film. It was like 5 mini Paw Patrols. Well, Paw Patrol is like for 3 to 5 year olds, and me and my friend we just sat there and we were making these chicken noises, going bah, 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 to the chicken. It was really funny in this scene, right? But you know, like, you usually wouldn't get sexual guys doing that with you. You know what I mean? They'd usually look at you gone out, but it was so comfortable to be around him, you know, like there's no sexual energy there. It's just like really innocent, sweet fun. And that's the type of like relationship I want, really innocent, sweet fun, where you don't have to worry about a guy ever going off with someone else. You know, so I hope you find someone suitable for you, Sarah. It's good that you have asexual guy friends. Yeah, it's really, really, really good. The thing is I like a British guy and he's not asexual. So that's thrown a spanner in the works lately. Like, he watches this channel as well. That's made things really difficult for me because I really, really, really like him. And he said he can be without me without sex, but you know, like, in my experience, that doesn't usually work out very well. And you know, like, there's still the worry and anxiety there all the time, which I wouldn't have with an asexual guy. You know, asexual guy, I know he's definitely never, ever, ever going to cheat on me. Whereas with him, you know, there's no guarantees, is there? Do you know what I mean? I like to be able to trust him like that, but he's not asexual at the end of the day. And he used to be quite into sex stuff before he met me. So it's kind of like, you know, it's very anxiety induced because I have relationship anxiety anyway, partly because of what happened in my past, I think, but I get really nervous about any type of relationship, whether it was sexual or asexual. But obviously asexual relationships are different anxiety. It's like just genuinely relationship anxiety. Whereas with the heterosexual, it's like the extra. It's like, well, how can I ever trust you around other people? Because there's always going to be that chance you could go and have sex with someone else, or be talking about having sex, have phone sex or text sex or whatever they do. There's always that risk, do you know what I mean? But it is really nice I've got asexual guy friends, yeah, that always be there for me. So if things don't work out with a British guy or anyone else, you know, at least I've got guy friends and I love spending time with them. I really like spending time with guys as well, more than women in general. In general, obviously, all women, it's nice you're here. And I've got a best female friend who's not asexual, I have to tell you, not asexual at all, the opposite of me in that way. And she is beautiful. She's 7 years I've known her. You know, that was her birthday party. That's where I met the British guy, who's a really nice guy, actually. He was putting my mind at ease today a lot. He went out, he's messaging me loads and saying sweet things. And he seems like a really sweet, caring guy. Yeah, you, Philip. You, Philip. Yeah, that's the British guy I'm talking about, if you want to know, Sarah. He's in the thread. Philip. That's who I'm talking about. He's watching this channel. He's a sweetheart. So yeah, he's a really, really nice guy, but I do worry about, you know, honestly, he knows which you know, I don't want to be worried about all that stuff, you know, because it's anxiety inducing. I'm constantly anxiety induced by it, and I can't live like that. It's not healthy for me. So that is a very difficult thing for me to deal with. Like, I never ever pictured me with a heterosexual ever again in my life. It was just like, I don't want to be with a heterosexual ever. So that's quite difficult because he is a really, really sweet guy, Philip is, who's watching me now, and he's adorable. And we're spending Saturday together, actually. And I really like him. He's a lovely guy. He's got a very kind heart. you know, very nice person. But I do worry that, you know, he's heterosexual and he could go off with someone else or have sex with someone else or be phone sexing or whatever he might do. And I don't want that worry. So that really is difficult for me. It's very personally difficult, especially as I hate sex and he used to be looking at that type of thing before he met me, especially. So I don't like that. Sorry. Saying hi to Philip. Yeah. So yeah, he's a really nice person, like, but he's not asexual, but he said he can be without sex, which is a miracle in and of itself. But you know what I mean? It's all right saying that, but in practice, will it work? Do you know what I mean? So, but I do like him a lot. He's really sweet and caring, and he ticks a lot of my boxes. I just so wished that Philip was asexual, if I'm honest. I so wished he was, because he'd be like really a perfect guy for me in lots of ways if he was that. But obviously that's a huge difference between me and him, like, because he ticks a lot of my boxes, you know. He's like in his 20s, which I like. He's got a really nice personality, nice kind heart. He looks after me really well. He sends me love hearts and love messages all the time. He talks to me like a best friend. He's been very good at calming me down about the sexual worry stuff, because he's been talking to me about Disney stuff, which I love. We've been sharing music videos together, which have nothing to do with sex whatsoever, like old music, Disney music, film music. And so yeah, he's been putting my mind at ease, because he's been talking to me like an asexual guy would talk to me, which is really, really nice. But I have to remember in the back of my mind that he's not asexual, you know, and I don't know how sexually experienced he is. I have my theory that he's quite sexually experienced. So but I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter so much what he's done in his past. All that matters is how he is with me from now on, and if he can truly be without sex and be with me, which I hope he can. He says he can. So, and you know, I can give him all the love and care and whatever he needs, just not the sex, because I'm, you know, and I can't, I'm monogamous, so he'd have to be without that forever if he's with me forever. So that's kind of really hard. It's a huge dilemma for me. It's like, oh, well, I really want to be in a relationship with this guy if everything goes according to plan, because we've only just met each other. You two have fun Saturday. I think it's sweet that Philip supports you. Yeah. Hi, Lewis. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, it is really sweet. He's really lovely. It's nice that he's on this channel supporting me. He's a really good guy. I'm glad I've met him. And I hope it works out between me and him, to be honest. It'd be great, wouldn't it? I'd be on this channel saying, I'm with a heterosexual and everything's going great. That would be really good for this channel. It gives loads of asexual hope, actually. Like, that's our dream, isn't it? Like, to actually be accepted by a heterosexual and to be loved for who we are without sex. I mean, that is actually a real dream of ours. Do you know what I mean? Because it makes life easier if heterosexuals can live without sex. Thanks, Philip. Yeah, it does make a difference. Like, if a sexual person can love us without the sex and be with us without that, is like a dream come true. Literally, really. You know what I mean? Because I have, you know, the thing with me, Sarah, is, if, as you probably know, I do have some sexual behaviour the way I like to kiss. So, and the dancing I like to do and stuff like that. So in that way, I go better with a heterosexual guy or someone on the more sexual end of the asexual spectrum. But usually, because I don't want the sex, I'm not sexually enough for them. And because I like to keep my clothes on. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm just not sexual enough for them. And it's like I'm kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place. I'm too sexual behaviour for some asexual guys with the way I like to kiss and the arousal, but I'm not sexual enough for sexual guys who need the sexual intercourse, or those on the more sexual end of the spectrum, which, you know, like, they like to rip their clothes off. Anything is possible, Sarah. Yes, anything is possible. And there is someone in my book, like I said, who is bisexual, with an asexual person, you know, the asexual person with the bisexual, and they say they can live without sex happily. You know, they're fine without sex. It wasn't never an issue. So there's an asexual with a bisexual in my book, and they don't have sex, which is amazing. So it can happen, just it's very rare, but it can happen. So hopefully me and Philip are one of those rarer, gonna be one of those rare couples that is possible with, which would be nice, because, you know, I do really like him so much. Like, he's like the age I like. He's got really cute face. He's a very cute boy. He's like got nice hair. He talks to me really well. He looks after me really well. We have so much fun when we're together. We've only just met, like, but we're very compatible, I think, in lots of ways. You know, like when we're talking, we like both understand each other really well. He likes a lot of the same music as I like. He's really good at dancing, and so am I. So we're really highly compatible with dancing. We like doing the same sort of activities, like movies and stuff. Same sort of music as well. Um, I think he's very cute. Like, I don't usually get attracted to British guys, and he's British, so it's really unusual for me as well. Because I usually get attracted to Indian guys and foreign guys. It's very, very, very rare. I've only been attracted to one British guy since 2011, enough to want to kiss him. And that guy was a really bad guy, who did actually want sex with me, admitted in the locker room at work, because he was from work. He said, I do want you, but not in the way you want, and not in the way you can give me. I said, what sex? He said, yeah. So he was like, he wasn't a very good partner to his girlfriend that he ended up being with as well. So I'm glad I didn't go near him in that way. But yeah, so like Philip's the only guy I've actually been like attracted to enough to want to be really physically close to, a British guy, like really, really close, like hugging, cuddling, bodies touching with clothes on. Like, he's the only guy that British that I would let near me like that. Like, even if I'm in a club, there's only foreign guys usually that can get anywhere near me physically if I want them to. Not British. I can't be touching any British guys. I remember years ago, I was in a nightclub in Exeter, and there's foreign guys, and they were really close to me dancing some of the time. And then there was this British guy, and his body was near mine, and I was just like trying to get away from him because I couldn't stand it. I cannot have my body near a British guy usually. It's like, get away from me. I'm not interested in you. I don't want you near me. I want to run a mile. Thank you very much. And I'll purposely head in the opposite direction. But with Philip, it's different. With Philip, I want to be close to him. With Philip, I want to cuddle him. With Philip, I want to hold him really tight near me, next to my body, which is with my clothes on, which is very unusual for me, even though I don't want the sex with him, because obviously I don't experience sexual attraction, so I don't get the need or want for sex with him. I still get the urge to be really physically cuddling him close, you know? I really like that. He's got a lovely cuddle. He's very, very good, because he's on one hand, he's like a kid like me, which I love about him, like a teenager, because I love a teenager style relationship permanent, 300, like 365 days a year, you know what I mean? Like, I like romance 365 days a year. I like to feel loved up all the time, which for him and me seems very possible, because he's like that as well. So I love that kid side to him. But he's also a strong man, like young man, because like here, like for example, he's already got me a birthday card, which is really nice. Because he's not actually going to be seeing me for my birthday, because I've already arranged to be with my asexual friends before I met him. So he's got a birthday card already for me. He's like coming over to see me on Saturday. We're going out together to the aquarium, and like he takes charge of stuff like that and looking after me. Oh, thank you, honey. Philip's lovely. And so he takes really good care of me. Like when we were at the friend's birthday party, which is how we met, my friend's 50th birthday, she's older than me in birth certificate age, like he was getting glasses of water for me, making sure I was eating regularly, because I told him I needed to eat regularly. We'd only just met and he was doing this, and it was really sweet, because when I went off the dance floor because I needed to go toilet or get a drink, he would walk off with me to spend time with me. Like, whereas a lot of other guys, they would just stay there dancing with other women, he was actually coming off the floor with me, and I really loved that about him. That was very reassuring. I liked that, I hate it when you're with a guy in a nightclub and he's just like there dancing with all the other women while you're going to the toilet and stuff. He's not being very trustworthy. It's like, well, you know what I mean? It's like, well, why do you want to stay hang around, dance on your own when you blatantly know other women are going to basically be coming on to you? Do you know what I mean? And so I thought that was really nice of him. He was really attentive. He's even like, oh, I can open your tin of tuna for you. I thought, oh, that's so sweet. He was treating me like a princess, actually. And I loved that about him. It's really sweet. He's got a lot of really, really lovely, nice qualities about him. But he's very like, if you watch some of my other videos, I talk about a lot of guys that have fancied me on this channel, been interested in me, but they're not strong enough for me. Do you know what I mean? I mean, obviously it takes a strong heterosexual guy to be with an asexual girl in the first place, a really strong guy like that, to resist doing the sex stuff. But also, like to take charge of things, to look after me, like if I'm not feeling well and stuff like this with food. Like, I only just met him and he was looking after me. Like we met up on Sunday again at my friend's like third day of her birthday party, and he was like made sure I ate, and he paid for my meal, which was really nice. Because I was shaking. I was kind of shaking because I was a bit nervous about me and him being on our own. I had to have a serious conversation with him about stuff. And I was also nervous. I mean, I was also shaking because I needed food. So he was really looking after me like that. And, it just feels so natural and right for me to be holding his hand, and to be cuddling him. Like, I don't usually get that, especially not with a heterosexual British guy. So that's been pretty amazing, and I feel really happy, that we're in each other's lives, and I know he wants me to be his girlfriend, so I'm just being a bit cautious because obviously he's heterosexual and we've only just met, but we act like boyfriend girlfriend all the time anyway, which is really sweet. I like that. And he's put my picture and his picture on his profile now, which is even more lovely. I think that's a really strong guy that does that. It's like, yeah, I want to show her off. I want to show that we're together even before we're officially together. So that's really good, and tell everyone about me, told his family about me. So yeah, I think that's amazing. I like a lot of qualities about him. I like the strength of the man inside. Even though he's a young guy, he's really like a man in that way. I even like his shoulders, which I don't usually get into muscles, but his muscly shoulders are really nice as well. So he's like got the really good cat. He's very similar to me in the sense that he's adult in lots of ways, and he's complementary to me is the sense he's got all the strength of a man. Yeah, he's got all the boyish looks and all the romance of like a teenager, like I like. So he's like a really good complementary person for me to have as a partner. Actually, I just wished he was asexual, then I wouldn't have to worry about other women at all, ever. Do you know what I mean? If he was asexual, but he's not. That's the hardest thing ever accepting about him. It's really difficult for me, especially when I hate sex so much and I'm sex repulsed and it makes me want to throw up. I hate anything to do with it because like I don't want to get angry with him because obviously it's not his fault he's heterosexual, but I get angry with all the sex stuff. But I just have to be respectful that he's not asexual and kind of remind myself of that, that he's doing a lot for me, even though he's not asexual. So I wished he was so much, but he's not. So I have to just accept it. But that's the hardest thing, because it's anxiety inducing for me. It really worries me all the time. And I don't want that worry in my life. It's kind of stressful for me. It drains my energy. But I care about him so much. So yeah. Anyway, watch this space with that one, I think. But it's been really nice. Thank you so much, Sarah, for watching. Age is only a number. Oh yeah. Well, like, yeah, but I like younger guys in their 20s. So age is only a number, especially where I'm concerned. But yeah, my birth certificate age is very different to my mindset. So I've got like a 21st mindset. So I live like like my mindset is 21 years old on purpose. I even had a 21st mindset birthday in 2017, Disneyland Paris special edition. So if you click through like my search on my channel, Sarah, you'll see that it says Disneyland Paris 21st mindset birthday special, and you'll see that it says on there, and I've got a really good like put together. Yeah, so that's really good. So I've got that, and like I live like a teenager. You might have noticed. I mean, you can't really notice so much now, but you might notice that in my room, like when I did the mobile live streaming, which I can't do at the moment because Facebook, YouTube's restricted me now to not being able to live stream mobile on my phone or my tablet. I have to do it on my desktop unless I reach 1,000 followers or more. So like, please share my videos and get everyone to subscribe to my channel. It'd be great. And once I reach over 1,000 followers, then I'll be able to go mobile again, which my room looks like a teenager's bedroom. It's got cuddly toys all over it everywhere. So I live like a 15-year-old and have the 21st mindset. So that really is my age, like 21. Like the majority of time, like that's who my soul is. But yeah, I'm still really intelligent girl business wise as well. So I'm like kind of like a business guy in lots of ways because I'm kind of more like a guy in that way. And then I'm like a teenager princess girl. You love Disney too. Oh, that's so cool. You'll love that video, I tell you. One of my asexual friends, Martin, he edited it for me when I got back with all my Facebook, YouTube videos. I did a Facebook video, and then he edited it into a YouTube video for me. And I was able to film every night, apart from one where Facebook stopped me from streaming because I was using copyrighted music in the background. I mean, I wasn't personally using it, but it was there. They physically banned me for 24 hours from doing any more live streams. Facebook did. So I think it's like over 5 or 6 nights. No, how long was that? Sorry, I was there for 4 nights, 5 days, and they stopped me doing it for 24 hours. But there's loads of different footage there. And so if you do Google, even if you Google, you don't even have to search my channel if you don't want Google 21st Mindset Birthday Disneyland Paris. It will come up with my video. I've got it on 2 channels, this channel and my Quirky Books TV channel, which is another blog. It's like a blog vlog channel I do, but that's got far less followers because I'm on here all the time. Live streaming, I'm not doing much on that channel, like once a week or once every fortnight. But yeah, Disney's amazing. Like, I've got so much Disney stuff. Like, I've got like a Winnie the Pooh alarm clock. I've got like Disney pictures. I've got like Eeyore stuff everywhere. I love Disney. Like, I'm a huge Disney girl. Like, I like being like a Disney princess. Like, I wore, like, when I went to my friend's 50th birthday party, I wore what I call my princess dress because it like flows out like a princess dress. I really like it. I don't even know if I've got a picture of it actually. I think I have probably. She had like a Jack Sparrow lookalike on there. So I was wearing the dress on my Facebook. I think I've got it somewhere. I'll try and find it for you. Oh, Facebook wants me to start typing. It's like, no, I don't want to start typing. I'm trying to find a picture. Let me see if I can find it. If not, oh, you can just see a bit of it. But I'm with the guy who was playing Jack Sparrow. My friend got a. So I don't look like a princess because you can hardly see me, but the top bit, she got like a Jack Sparrow lookalike, but you see the top bit is like beaded, and then it goes into like a netted kind of dress, you know, like blue netting type dress. So yeah, I call that my princess dress. So yeah, I love like being like a princess, Disney princess. It's great. I've actually got a Frozen crown my dad bought me for Christmas, and I wore that to Disneyland Paris on some of the rides. Let me show you. I'll show you actually. Hang on a minute. Don't go away. Like, this is like my Disneyland Paris, right? Like, I'm the one with the arms floating everywhere, and you can see I think you can see the crown. Like, yeah, you can just about see it. The Frozen crown, the blue thing on my head. It's quite funny. So that was really good. Yeah, I go to theme parks. I love theme parks. I absolutely adore theme parks so much. I've been to Harry Potter studios too. Are you into Harry Potter, Sarah? I'll show you something else. I got a Harry Potter picture. Don't go away. So this is me flying on a broomstick, Harry Potter broomstick, right? In Harry Potter studios in London. My soul is a child age too. 21st Mindset sounds like fun. Hey, Sarah, you're with me. This is cool. I do think asexuals in general, like a lot of us prefer like stuff like cuddly toys and things like that because we're not interested in sex, so we're more like young. Do you know what I mean? We're younger. I think we can stay younger for longer because we haven't got all that sex rubbish and adult rubbish to deal with. We just like innocent fun and doing kid stuff. We nourish our inner child more, I'd say. It's really important to nourish your inner child though. It's really important, like whether you're sexual or asexual, especially if you're asexual. But no, it's important for everyone to nourish that inner child. And me and well, I saw one of my asexual friends in the city the other day who lives in my city, and we're having this conversation about inner child nourishment, you know, and everyone should be nourishing their inner child even when they're an adult. And a lot of people don't. And that's why it causes a lot of trauma in the brain because they're trying to be this adult and they forget the child within them. And even though you're older, you've always got this child. And if you're not nourishing it, you'll start to feel like your soul is going away from your body. And if you're consciously aware of this, that is. And so you have to nourish your inner child all the time. I have to. Like, if I'm busy doing website work and working all the time, my child will go, hang on a minute, I haven't had a break. What are you doing? Where's my cinema? Where's my downtime? Why are you just like, you know, why are you just like working all the time? What are you doing? And so I'll go on self-dates. I don't know if you've seen any of my self-date videos when I was mobile and could go to the cinema and show, you know, I didn't actually show you the film, but I do like some YouTube, YouTube live streams, which are reviews of films I've seen, no sex films, because I hate sex scenes in films. I hate nudity in movies, in TV programs, in sculptures, in paintings. I just don't like nudity. It makes me feel like throwing up. And so it's really good. Like when I nourish my inner child, I go and watch a sex-free movie, right? And sometimes I take myself out for a meal. Sometimes I don't. I just go to the cinema. I watch movies at kids' club. I watch superhero movies, like one of my very favorite movies to watch, and I just love it so much. And I think like it's really important to nourish it in a child, because when you get older, people like get conditioned to believe that, oh, you're a certain age now, you should be act a certain way. Well, that's very, very unhealthy. Actually, it makes you older. The way to stay younger is by having a younger mindset. That's why I'm younger now. Like when I was younger in birth certificate age, I was actually very old for my time. I was like an old woman. Like I looked older, I dressed older, I felt older. I was just older. Now I live like this teenager lifestyle, which I have had since 2012. I'll listen to dance music, dance around my room if I can, but I can't jump up and down because I do have housemates downstairs, well, around me. The kitchen's downstairs actually, but they live in the same house as me. I live in the middle of a flat in the middle of a big house, Victorian house. So there's like 3 other people in the house, but I live in the self-contained bit. So, I can't just jump up and down. Once when I first moved in, I was jumping up and down the floor, and the landlord was, what on earth is that noise banging on the ceiling? I'm like, whoops. So I can only jig on the spot, which is a bit annoying because I love dancing. So I have to go out to do dancing. But, I'm really digressing on this live stream. As you can see, I've been talking for 2 hours and 25 minutes now. But we're having a good chat here, aren't we? And hanging out together. So it's all cool. But it's really important to nourish your inner child. Do you know what I mean? It's really important to do that, because lots of people don't. As they get older, they're like, oh, you have to behave a certain way. And actually, that's what makes people old, because they get into the mindset of the birth certificate age they are. Therefore, they change behavior. Therefore, oh, thanks, Philip. Thank you, Sarah. So, it's really important to nourish your inner child constantly. That's what keeps you young. That's what keeps you active. That's what keeps you looking young as well. Like, if the secret to being young forever is don't wear much makeup if you're a woman, actually, because makeup really clogs the pores and makes you go old very quickly. So all the women that are wearing tons and tons of makeup trying to look themselves pretty, especially for blokes and sex, they're going to look far older quicker than most people that do not wear much makeup. I'm telling you that now. And then the other thing is to have a really young mind, do young activities, wear young clothes. So basically you just do what a teenager does. I love your Harry Potter picture and the Disney picture. I noticed that a lot of asexuals nourish their inner child. I went to Disney World in Orlando, Florida 4 years ago. I spent a week. That is amazing, Sarah. High five to you, girl. High five to you. Well done. I don't like flying on a plane, so I don't tend to go abroad, but I do go to Disneyland Paris by Eurostar. That's how I went. So, yeah, I was so happy when I went to Disney. That was the longest time I spent away, and I went there on my own for 4 days, 5 nights, and there was 2 nights in London as well. So that is really good. Like, I used to want to go to Disney World in Orlando, Florida years ago, right? But because I don't like flying on a plane, I've only flown on a plane twice in my life. It made me cry. I hated it. An hour trip as it was as well to Spain. The other time was Jersey in a rickety old plane, which was the first plane I ever went on. Probably not good to go on there. But literally when I went to Spain, I was crying all the time on the way there and the way back. I'm like, I hate this. I don't like flying. But I don't have the need, urge, or want to go traveling like most people do. It's really weird. Like most asexuals, like on dating sites, they're all like, I want to travel. And I'm like, well, you're no good for me then, because I'm not interested. I'll travel within the UK, yeah, and I'll go by Eurostar if I need to Disneyland Paris. Only 2 places I really like to go to are London and Disneyland Paris. I'm not fussed about anywhere else. Do you know what I mean? I like day trips as well, but everyone else wants to go traveling. Like, don't you want to see the world? I've got everything. I'm like, well, I've got everything I want right here. Thank you very much. Why do I need to go out there and get it when I've got everything here? And if I go abroad, I wouldn't want to be sunning myself anyway. That'd bore me to tears. I'd want to be out, going to theme parks, zoos, and aquariums. High five, Sarah. Oh, you managed to do a high five like that. That's so cool. Thank you so much. It's a high five. Actually, I'll show you another picture of me at Chessington, which is in the UK. Yeah, because you said you're in America. But yeah, I'm so proud of you for nourishing your inner child, not giving what people think. It's so important. So 1 year, I went to Chessington World of Adventures 5 times on my own, right? 5 times on my own. in 1 year. That's when I had quite a bit of money. I don't have that much money now. But anyway, I'll show you this quickly. Sorry, you have to excuse me going off camera quickly to get it. Like, this is really cool. I think this looks very realistic, actually. I think I could meant to look like I'm on a broomstick. I think it's really cool. That was really good. It's a mechanical broomstick. Oh, Peter's giving me loads of Philip is giving me loads of high fives. Why do I call it? It's because your surname's Peters, and I see Peters, and I know you're called Philip because you're obviously the guy I absolutely adore. So I do know your name's Philip. I'm overshooting your name, but yes, you gave me loads of high fives and put me off. But yes, thank you, Philip. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so this is the one from Chessington World of Adventures theme park. I don't know if you can see that's me on my own. Oh, the light's shining so much. I think you can see that. Rumba Rapids, yeah? And that's like when I went to the theme park like 5 times on my own in a year. That's one of the times I went. And so I love theme parks. Like, theme parks are one of my very favourite things to do ever in my life. Like, when I was looking for been looking for an asexual partner, I put that the person needs to like theme parks because I want to go to theme parks with them, zoos with them, aquariums with them, out for meals and to the cinema. Like, they're quite must-haves for me, especially theme park, because I do all this stuff on my own. I feel hugely romantic when I do it on my own. Like, if I go to a zoo or aquarium, I'm feeling romantic, like, because I'm a hyper romantic, right? So I'm excessively romantic. Even with myself, I get romantic, you know? So when I've been single for like years now, I get really romantic with myself, and, you know, like watching the fishes in the aquariums, like really romantic. They're all pretty colours and it's really peaceful, and I feel in touch with my soul there, and it's so beautiful. You know, and so it's just great. And I think it's really important to nourish your inner child and to do all this stuff. And I'm looking for a partner to do all that stuff with, because it's like, well, if he can't do that, or is not interested in it, I may as well stay single, because what's the point? I could do all that stuff myself on my own, but it's nice to share that with someone. Do you know what I mean? There's no point having someone who's not going to want to do some of the same activities as me, because it's not going to work, is it? We're just going to not see each other or do anything together. But yeah, I've actually got me at another theme park, but I've got my parents on that. I don't show my parents on this channel usually. I keep them out of my public life. I'll see if I can cover them up and just show you me, because I just don't show my parents in public. I keep them completely separate out of my life, because I just don't, because of the work I do, I don't think it's good for them. Right. So yeah, this is me. My parents are in the back, so I've had to cut them off. Sorry about that. But yeah, this is me at Creeley, which is where Philip went with his family a few days ago. But yeah, that was me. How many years ago? Nearly 6 years ago, actually. But I don't look any different now. See, it's exactly the same. So that's quite funny. More than 6 years ago. 6, 7, 8 years ago, actually. That was me 8 years ago. Yeah, 8 years ago. Yeah, where are we now? 2019. Can't be 8 years. Oh yeah, I think it was 8 years ago. Something like that. Anyway, yes, really, really good. So I had a great time. Yes. Yeah, I had a great time. That's my Black Panther, because I go and see superhero movies. So I got one of their cars when it first came out. They were limited edition cars. I got bands as well. So I love that. I don't know if I've got anything else. I have got an aquarium one as well. But the guy on it's actually asexual as well. I don't think he'd want me to show that, really. I can show you and cut him off a bit. Let me show you. It's in London Aquarium, but yeah, he likes. People don't know he's asexual. That's why I can't show it. But excuse me. But yeah, so this is me. The person's next to me. But we went to the aquarium in London together. It wasn't a date, but it was the first. Excuse me, the first time I met an asexual in person. But we did meet on an asexual dating site. But this is going back in 2014. So, but they're not out about being asexual. But it's really nice. I love aquariums. It's so good. I think that's all the pictures I've got. Oh no, I've got one of me at Shrek Adventureland. If you've never been to Rumba Rapids and Creeley looks fun. I like theme parks too. Oh, Sarah, you should be living in the UK. Then you could come with us to theme park, because I'm going to Breen theme park for my birthday. Let me see if I got anything on Breen theme park. I don't think I have. Like, I'm going for my birthday. Let me see if I've got a leaflet I can show you. I don't think I have. I've got everything ready to go. But I don't think I've got an actual picture of the theme park. Oh, yes, I have. Haha. Because I got it from last year. So, Yeah, this is the theme park I'm going to for my birthday. It's amazing. It's called a place called Burnham-on-Sea. They have the city show there as well. I've been there before. I go there usually on my own for my birthday. Like last year, I went on my own, but it wasn't actually on my birthday day. So I went to the aquarium for my birthday. Then I went here the next month. And I usually go on my own, but it's really nice. I've got my 2 asexual best friends coming with me this year. And so, yeah, they do something called the City Show. I don't know if you've ever seen the City Show. It's a British show. I know you're in America, Sarah, but City, it's like, if you're a kid, it's like the City and Sweep. Yeah, that's right. City and Sweep. No, that's City. Sorry, that's Sweep. Is like the dog in the middle, and that's Sue. City's the yellow one. Sweep and Sue. But it's like the City Show, and it's a puppet show. But the guy who's from the telly, he comes to do a puppet show. Like, thanks, Philip. He comes to do the puppet show. Like every so often throughout the season. And then he has this guy come in and filling in for him who's not on the TV show, but these like on the TV show. And so if we're fortunate enough to go down there on a day when the puppet show's on, it's really good and fun. I love it, because I'm a big kid and I love it, as you know. So they do the show, but they do all these rides there. Like, this is one of my favourite rides, which is that one there. It's like a roller coaster, and it twirls around as well, which is really good. And then they got log flume, which I went on lots last time. But the woman, she was really not good though, because she was telling me I could stand up in it when I was coming down. I think it was standing up, or I could like let go of the rails or something, or sit further back and without holding the rails. And then I shot forward and hurt myself, which wasn't very good. I thought that's not good for health and safety. I thought she might be a lesbian actually, because she kept being really excited to see me. And I was getting a bit like, you might be a lesbian, but I'm not. So yeah, so this is like all the map and everything. So it's huge. See, it's not that big. There's more it's more cross between a fun fair. It's more like a fun fair than a theme park, but it's really, really good. So that's where I'm going for my birthday from 11 in the morning. I'll get there about 10 to 11 till 6 in the afternoon. And it's brilliant because I'll be there all day and then having a Chinese meal when we come back. So, and I'm having a Chinese meal the night before with 6 asexual friends, my best friend and 4 others. And then I'm meeting up with my best friend again and my other best friend for my birthday. But my best friend, one of my best friends I'm meeting up with my birthday can't come the night before because it's too much for him to do too. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. So that'll be really good. So yeah. Anyway, I think I can conclude tonight's live stream on that beautiful note, because this has ended really well considering I was in a bad mood at the beginning of the live stream and now I'm in a really happy mood. So this has been a good live stream, people. Thank you so much, Sarah, for watching. Thank you, Lewis. Thank you for optimistically cynical. Thank you to Heather as well earlier. Thank you, Sarah Ann. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Philip, as well, for your support as always, honey. You're beautiful. Thank you so much for everyone who's tuned in tonight, who's watched this show. Thanks to those who watched nearly all the way through. I really appreciate that. Thank you in advance. Oh, Breen looks colourful and fun. I will look up the puppet show. One day I'll visit UK. Yes, visit UK and let me know, and then I'll be sure to try and get you to an asexual meetup in the UK. It'd be fun for you. And thank you so much for getting my book in advance. Thank you so much for tuning in, staying up all this time to speak to me. I don't know what time it is there. It's like 1:28 in the morning here. And I got a bit of work to do as well before I go to sleep. So thank you so much, Sarah. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Philip. Thank you, everyone else that's tuned in tonight. Love you all very much indeed. And I will see you on the next video or live stream. Until next time, embrace your quirky and each other. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks, Sarah. Take care, everyone. Thanks, Philip. Bye. Bye. Take care. You're welcome, Sarah. Bye. Nice to see you.